What if everything you've ever seen, every star, every galaxy, every breath you've taken, wasn't happening in the universe at all, but inside something else? What if the cosmos you call home is not an endless expanse, but the quiet interior of a black hole so large, so ancient, so perfectly disguised, that none of us have ever realized we're living inside its shadow? Take a slow breath, because tonight, we step into a question that reshapes reality itself. Welcome, dear traveler. Tonight you will drift deeply, safely, and surely into rest. This is your time to soften, to loosen the weight of the day, and to let the universe hold you gently. And if you have wandered with us before, if you've drifted into this cosmic quiet on another night, I invite you to share in the comments how your journey felt. Your words may calm someone else who is searching for sleep tonight. A single sentence of comfort can be a lantern in someone's darkness. Now, settle back. Feel the air around you grow warmer, softer. Your eyelids grow heavier. Your shoulders release. Imagine a small fire glowing beside you. The kind that flickers slowly, like it's breathing with you. Listen to that warmth. Let the crackling drift like tiny stars falling into embers. Because tonight's story begins before stars, before time, before light itself learned how to shine. And now, as the fire shifts, we drift deeper into the night. Imagine the universe not as a vast outward expanse, but as a place collapsing inward, a place born from pressure, from gravity, from a moment of unimaginable density. Imagine everything you know being shaped from the inside of an enormous cosmic shell, a boundary so perfect, so absolute, that no light can ever cross it. A boundary we call the event horizon. Scientists often describe a black hole as a prison. Light cannot escape, time itself slows, matter collapses into a single point. But what if that view is only half the truth? What if a black hole is not a dead end but a doorway? What if the singularity at its center, the point where physics folds in on itself, is not a point at all, but a beginning? A beginning very much like the Big Bang. Some physicists, quiet thinkers working in late-night offices, staring at equations that seem to hum with mystery, have whispered a radical idea. A black hole may not end at the singularity. It may erupt into a new universe on the other side. And if that is true, then our universe, your universe, may be the inside of a black hole born in another cosmic reality. Let that idea settle beside your heartbeat. Not frightening, just quietly enormous. Because suddenly the laws of our universe, its expansion, its horizon, its strange silence, begin to make sense. Everything behaves as though we are falling inward and expanding outward. At the same time, you are not drifting through space. You are drifting through a mystery wrapped in gravity and stitched with light. Take another slow breath and let the thought soften. Because in the next part, we will drift deeper. We will step closer to the boundary of this cosmic illusion. And we'll ask a question older than stars. If we truly live inside a black hole, how could we ever know? The fire glows. The stars remain. Your breath slows. And now, as the fire shifts and settles into a deeper orange glow, we drift further into the night. Into a place where the familiar shape of the universe begins to feel strangely intimate. As if it's not something you're looking at, but something you're inside. Imagine, for a moment, that you are standing in a vast, endless chamber. There are no walls, no ceilings, no floors, just darkness stretching in every direction. But this darkness is gentle, warm, like the inside of a womb made of starlight and silence. You breathe, and the chamber breathes with you. You move, and something unseen moves with you. This is the sensation many physicists describe when they ask the daring question. What if our universe isn't a universe at all, but the interior geometry of a black hole? Inside a black hole, space does something extraordinary. It curves inward so deeply, so relentlessly, that everything falls in the same direction. Not down, not up, but toward a place where space and time fold into one another. Now imagine living your entire existence inside that gentle downward curve. You wouldn't feel yourself falling. You wouldn't sense motion. Because everything around you, every particle, every photon, every bit of matter would be falling with you, together, in perfect silent harmony. You would feel what you feel right now. Stillness, calm. A universe that appears steady, balanced, serene. Inside a black hole, there is no outside to compare yourself to. No fixed reference point. No external viewpoint. Only the endless, smooth fabric of space moving with you. That is what our universe feels like. A place where everything drifts together. Where expansion and collapse are two sides of the same breath. Where time slows so gently, you never notice it stretching under your feet. Cosmologists studying the shape of the universe often describe it using the same words they use for the interior of a black hole. A region where the curvature is so deep and uniform that space-time seems to stretch outward, even as it's falling inward. This dual mystery, expansion and collapse, has puzzled scientists for decades. Why does space expand faster and faster as time goes on? Why does light from distant galaxies stretch like soft elastic? Why does the cosmic microwave background glow in a perfect spherical pattern all around us? Unless, of course, we're looking at the universe from the inside of something much larger, much older, much heavier than we can imagine. What if every galaxy drifting away from you isn't moving outward into emptiness, but inward toward a gravitational center you can never see? What if the expansion of the universe is simply the internal stretching of space-time inside a black hole's belly? This idea is not fantasy. It is a legitimate scientific possibility, considered by physicists from Lee Smolin to Nikodem Popovsky, each of whom suggests that black holes may birth new universes inside themselves. If that is true, then the universe is not expanding into nothingness. It is expanding into itself, growing the way a tree ring grows, from the inside outward, yet never escaping the bark around it. Take a slow breath. Feel how enormous that idea is and how strangely peaceful. Because if the universe is a black hole in disguise, then everything you see, everything you are, is part of a cosmic inheritance passed down from a parent universe long gone. And in the next part, we drift closer to the truth of black holes themselves, to what they really are beneath the myths. The embers glow, the stars continue, your breath slows. And now, as the fire shifts once more, sending a soft ripple of warmth through the quiet night, we drift deeper, into the heart of the thing we fear most and understand least. Black holes. You've heard them described as monsters, cosmic devourers that swallow stars whole and tear space apart. But that image is only the shadow, the outer shell of something far more elegant. Because the truth is, black holes are not killers, they're creators. Architects of structure, engines that recycle the universe with a precision and calmness that borders on divine. Take a breath and let the fear melt away. A black hole is simply a place where gravity becomes so strong that space folds inward and time slows to a crawl. To an outside observer, anything falling toward a black hole seems to freeze at the edge, locked in a kind of cosmic pose, light stretched redder and redder until it fades into invisibility. But from the inside, the story is entirely different. Inside, space doesn't freeze. It flows, smoothly, relentlessly, like a river slipping between mountains. There is no sudden tearing, no violent stretching. Only gravity guiding everything toward a point where the universe's equations begin to whisper secrets. Physicists call this place the singularity. But singularity is simply a label for where our mathematics reaches its limit, where the fabric of space-time becomes so tightly curved that we can no longer describe it with the tools we have. And this is where the magic happens, because many physicists now believe that the singularity might not be a point of destruction at all, but a passage, a bridge, a doorway, a seed that blooms into something else, something vast, expanding, and full of potential. Sound familiar? Some theorists propose that what we call the Big Bang was not the birth of all existence, but the moment another universe's collapse blossomed into ours. Imagine a massive star in some other universe. It reaches the end of its life, collapses inward, and forms a black hole. But instead of its singularity being a dead end, it becomes a rebirth. A tiny, impossibly dense pocket of space that suddenly expands, not outward into its parent universe, but inward into a new, separate reality. To observers in that parent universe, the black hole remains silent, Just a dark sphere swallowing light. But inside, a new cosmos awakens. Stars ignite, galaxies swirl, and beings like you look up into the sky and call it the universe. Nikodem Popovsky, a physicist known for his work on torsion gravity, proposed something profound. Every black hole may contain a universe, and every universe may be born from a black hole. It is a cosmic cycle. Collapse becomes creation. Falling becomes expansion. An ending becomes a beginning. Suddenly, black holes don't look like cosmic traps. They look like wombs. Silent, dark, hidden, but filled with the potential to become everything. If our universe is the interior of such a black hole, it explains why space expands, why time flows the way it does, and why the speed of light marks the edges of what we can know. Inside a black hole, nothing can escape outward, so everything expands inward. It's a reversal so perfect that even the equations begin to hum with symmetry. Take a slow breath, and let the idea rest with you. Because in the next part, we step not into theory, but into the spark of discovery. The moment cosmologists realize the universe behaves suspiciously, like the inside of a black hole, the fire glows, the stars remain, your breath slows, and now, as the quiet fire settles deeper into its gentle rhythm, we drift further into the night, toward the moment when scientists first realized something unsettling, something thrilling, something that made them stop, stare at their equations, and whisper, This looks familiar. Because the more we observe the universe, the more it begins to behave like something we thought we understood, something we believed was small, contained, and deadly, a black hole. It began subtly, with patterns, cosmic patterns that didn't seem connected at first, yet echoed one another with eerie precision. The first clue came from cosmic expansion, the way galaxies drift away from one another, not slowly, but with increasing speed, as if space itself were stretching like a fabric pulled from the inside. Not pushed, not propelled, but stretched. The same way space-time stretches inside a black hole. Then came the second clue, the cosmic horizon, a boundary beyond which we cannot see, no matter how powerful our telescopes become. A horizon that behaves uncannily, like the event horizon of a black hole, where information fades into invisibility. And the third clue, the whisper that made cosmologists lean closer, time. Time behaves strangely in our universe. It flows in one direction, slowly stretching, slowly cooling, slowly drifting toward an eventual stillness. Inside a black hole, time does the same. But the turning point came from a deeper observation, a measurement so gentle, so faint that it almost seems like the universe telling us its secret in a soft, trembling voice, the cosmic microwave background, the afterglow of the Big Bang. To the naked eye, it is nothing but a dim, ancient haze. But to cosmologists, it is a map, a perfect sphere surrounding us, glowing at a nearly identical temperature in every direction, a boundary, a shell, a horizon. Not unlike the inner surface of a black hole's event horizon. Smooth, uniform, curved around us in all directions. And here, the questions began to stack like quiet constellations. Why does the universe have a horizon at all? Why does everything appear to flow away from us? Why does space behave as though it's falling inward, even as it expands outward? Slowly, tentatively, scientists began to realize that the equations describing the universe's expansion matched the equations describing the interior of a black hole. Not loosely, not metaphorically, precisely. Einstein's field equations, normally used to describe the behavior of space-time around collapsing stars, could be reconfigured, tilted, twisted, interpreted differently, and suddenly they described our universe. It was as if the cosmos itself was leaving breadcrumbs, hints, soft clues concealed in light and curvature. And when researchers modeled the universe as the interior of a massive black hole, something strange happened. The numbers lined up. The expansion rate made sense. The cosmic horizon made sense. The uniform glow of the early universe made sense. Even the mysterious dark energy that accelerates our expansion looked like a natural consequence of being inside a gently curving gravitational well. For the first time, the universe didn't look random. It looked designed, structured, shaped by the physics of collapse and rebirth. Take a slow breath. Let that idea settle, not as fear, but as quiet wonder. Because in the next part, we step even closer to the edge of possibility. We look at the Big Bang itself and ask what it really was. The embers glow, the stars continue, your breath slows, and now, as the night deepens and the fire curls into a quieter, softer glow, we drift into the question that lies at the very edge of understanding. What truly happens at the boundary of a black hole? Not the boundary we fear, not the one whispered about in childhood, a place where everything vanishes, torn apart by impossible forces. But the real boundary, the event horizon, a surface as calm and perfect as a pond of ink stretching silently across the cosmos. Imagine standing at that horizon, not with fear, but with curiosity, like a traveler stepping into a temple carved from gravity itself. From the outside, the event horizon looks like the end of everything, a final curtain, a place where light slows, fades, and never returns. But from the inside, the story is different. Inside a black hole, the horizon is not an edge. It is a mirror, a surface across which time folds and transforms. Space flows inward smoothly, quietly, as gentle as a river drifting toward the sea. Nothing rips, nothing shatters. There is only motion, inevitable and calm. It is here, at this silent boundary, that the parallels between our universe and a black hole become too precise to ignore. Because our universe also has a horizon. The cosmic horizon is the maximum distance from which light has had time to reach us since the Big Bang. Everything beyond it is invisible, not because it doesn't exist, but because light hasn't arrived yet. A soft, natural boundary. A boundary that behaves just like an event horizon. You can never see past it. Information cannot cross it. Light stretches thinner and thinner as it tries to reach us, until it fades into a whisper of microwave glow. In every direction, our horizon forms a perfect sphere. Silent, smooth, absolute. Just like the inside surface of a black hole. But the resemblance deepens. Because inside a black hole, space expands as you fall inward. Every point inside is drawn toward the center, yet the interior measurement of distance grows larger, stretching infinitely as time slows and gravity curves. This is not an analogy. It is the literal description of what would happen if you stepped past a black hole's horizon. Now compare that to our universe. Galaxies drift away from us as if space is expanding. The farther they are, the faster they move, just like the inner geometry of a black hole. Time slows relative to regions of deeper curvature, just as cosmic time stretched during early expansion, and at the very center of this idea lies the Big Bang. The beginning of the universe looks suspiciously like the inside-out reflection of a collapsing star's final heartbeat. When a massive star collapses, it forms a black hole. Matter plunges inward, dense beyond measure. Time slows, pressure builds, and deep inside, a singularity forms, the seed of something new. Now imagine that seed doesn't stay silent. Imagine it erupts, not outward into its parent universe, but into a new dimension, a fresh space with new laws and new light. Our space, our time. The Big Bang becomes not the birth of everything, but the inside of a black hole coming alive. Take a slow breath. Feel how the idea unfolds gently, like the universe whispering its origin. And now, as the fire softens into a deeper bronze and the night settles around you like a warm cosmic blanket, we drift even closer, into the moment where collapse becomes creation, into the moment where darkness gives birth to light. Because if our universe truly bloomed from the interior of a black hole, then the Big Bang was not an explosion, not a violent burst scattering matter into emptiness, but something far more poetic, far more intimate. It was a reversal. Imagine the final seconds of a massive star's life. The core collapses under its own weight. Atoms are crushed, quarks compress, Space buckles inward with unstoppable force. The star shrinks faster, faster, until it approaches a point smaller than imagination itself. Outside, it looks like destruction. A star dying, light being swallowed, gravity tightening its grip, but inside something else is happening. The collapsing core reaches such unimaginable density that the equations of general relativity and quantum mechanics begin to whisper different stories. At that crossroad, where gravity curves too sharply and quantum pressure pushes too fiercely, space may not collapse into nothing. It may rebound. A bounce, a breath, a transformation. Physicists call this the Big Bounce hypothesis. The idea that instead of ending at a singularity, collapse reaches a limit and then expands internally into a new, growing universe. Picture it like this. If you press a spring down with all your strength, there comes a moment where it can't compress any further, and then it pushes back, releasing its energy in a burst of motion. Now replace the spring with the fabric of space-time itself. That rebound is what we might call the Big Bang. From the outside, nothing escapes the black hole. Nothing changes. The star is gone, sealed behind the horizon. But on the inside, a universe ignites. Not a tiny pocket of light, but a fully expanding reality. Not outward, inward. Expanding deeper into its own dimensions, its own geometry, its own destiny. This is why the Big Bang appears to have no center. Why every point in space feels like it's expanding away from every other point. Why the universe is uniform, smooth, balanced, as if it grew from something perfectly compressed. Because inside a black hole, there is no center in the way we imagine it. Collapse becomes creation everywhere at once. Space is born simultaneously across an entire curved interior. That's why no matter where you stand in the universe, you feel like you're at the middle of expansion. Because expansion happens everywhere, all at once, all the time. The Big Bang was not the moment everything exploded outward, but the moment the interior of a black hole blossomed into its own universe. Our universe. A place where time stretches, light slows, and galaxies drift apart because they are riding the gentle internal flow of space growing from collapse. Take a slow breath. Let this sink in gently. You are not on the outside of anything. You are inside a cosmic heartbeat. And now, as the quiet night deepens and the fire settles into a slow, steady rhythm, we drift further, into the very first seconds of the universe. A moment so delicate, so impossibly dense with possibility, that the laws of physics blurred together like colors melting in water. Because if our universe is the inner unfolding of a black hole, then its earliest moments were not chaos, but transition. A shift from collapse to creation, from falling inward to expanding outward, from gravity's grip to gravity's release. Picture yourself drifting through that moment. Not as a body, not as a mind, but as awareness, soft, weightless, and unbound. You float in a place where space is still learning what it means to be space, where time is stretching for the very first time. One slow heartbeat after another. Inside a black hole, everything falls toward the center, pulled by gravity so strong that nothing, not even light, can resist. But now imagine that inward fall reversing. Not stopping, not freezing, but transforming. Curving into something fresh, something expanding, something vast. This is the essence of the Big Bang inside the black hole model. What feels like an explosion from our viewpoint is actually the unfolding of new dimensions inside an already curved space. And here, in these newborn moments, the universe does something remarkable. It expands faster than the speed of light. Not because matter is racing outward, but because new space-time itself is swelling from the inside like a balloon growing from its core. This is the theory of cosmic inflation, a mysterious, rapid expansion that smoothed the universe, cooled it, stretched it, and set the stage for everything to come. But inside a black hole, this behavior is expected. It is natural. It is exactly what interior solutions of Einstein's equations predict. Space doesn't explode, it unfolds. Softly, gracefully, inevitably. You are drifting now through a universe that feels alive with quiet purpose. Photons, The first light scatter like fireflies in a fog, bouncing, colliding, dancing in a hot, radiant ocean. Matter begins to separate from radiation. Quarks pair up to form protons. Protons attract electrons. Atoms emerge, simple at first, just hydrogen and helium, but each one a victory of structure over chaos. Inside this black hole-born universe, gravity is gentle at first. A soft guiding hand gathering matter into clouds, clouds into clusters, clusters into the earliest whispers of galaxies. You feel the universe cooling like a long exhale. You sense time slowing into a stable rhythm, the furious internal burst giving way to calm expansion. And as the cosmos grows, the reasons it behaves like the interior of a black hole become clearer. The uniform glow of the cosmic microwave background, a signature of perfectly compressed beginnings, the identical temperature in all directions, as if everything once fit inside the same curved chamber. The cosmic horizon, a boundary that mirrors the surface of a black hole's event horizon. The accelerating expansion, not a push, but a gentle pull toward deeper curvature inside the gravitational well of something far larger than our universe appears to be. Take a slow breath. Feel how the pieces softly align. There is no chaos here, only unfolding, only motion with purpose. And now, as the fire softens into a gentler hum, and the night folds around you like a quiet cosmic robe, we drift deeper into the behavior of light itself, because light, more than anything, reveals the true shape of the universe. Light doesn't lie. It bends, it stretches, it slows, it remembers. And in our universe, light behaves exactly the way it would if we were living inside the curved interior of an unimaginably massive black hole. Let yourself sink into this gently. Imagine a beam of light traveling across space, a simple photon, born from the heart of a star billions of years ago. It races outward, tireless, weightless, carrying stories written in wavelengths. But as it moves, something strange happens. It weakens. It stretches. Its color fades from brilliant blue to warm gold, to soft red, to almost nothing at all. This stretching, this reddening, is called cosmological redshift, the quiet signature of expansion. But from the perspective of a black hole interior, this is not surprising, not strange, not mysterious. Inside a black hole, light falling inward gets stretched by the deep curvature of space-time. Its wavelengths grow longer, its energy drains, its color reddens, its motion slows relative to the outside. Now look at our universe. Distant galaxies glow in redder tones the farther away they are, as if they are falling deeper into curvature, as if the light they send is crawling through a gravitational well so immense that its memory of brightness softens. With every billion years, this is exactly what light would look like inside a black hole. Take another slow breath. But the resemblance doesn't stop there, because in our universe, light seems to move through a medium that is stretching beneath it. Space grows, and light grows with it. Distances expand, and light stretches like a ribbon pulled between galaxies. Inside a black hole, the interior space grows as well, not outward, but inward, toward a deeper dimension we cannot see. Scientists call this internal volume growth, a counterintuitive property where the inside of a black hole gains volume even though the horizon's surface remains the same. In other words, the inside gets bigger without the outside knowing. Sound familiar? Our universe expands without any observable outside. The boundaries stay fixed, yet the internal space stretches endlessly, a perfect mirror. And then there's the cosmic microwave background, the ancient light left over from the universe's earliest glow. This light is faint, gentle, spread across the sky like a warm memory, but more importantly, it is cooled precisely the way light would cool inside the deep, gravitational curvature of a black hole's interior, smoothly, evenly, uniform across the entire sky, as if everything we can see was once compressed together inside a small, curved chamber, a chamber identical to the inner geometry of a black hole. Light remembers curves. Light remembers compression. Light carries the fingerprints of the space it moved through, and in every direction, the fingerprints are the same. Take a slow breath. Let the thought rest softly with you. And now, as the night deepens and the fire settles into a quieter, deeper rhythm, we drift further into a question so strange, so breathtaking, that it almost feels like a secret whispered by the universe itself. What if our universe was born inside the collapse of a star? Not in our universe, but in another higher dimensional one? Take a slow breath. Let that possibility open gently. Imagine a star. Not a star of hydrogen and helium, but a colossal, unimaginable giant from a universe with more dimensions than ours. A place where space curves in directions we cannot point toward, and where mass behaves like a symphony of deeper forces. In that parent universe, stars could exist far larger than any we've ever seen. Stars so massive that they would dwarf our galaxies, glowing with a pressure that bends space-time with the weight of entire worlds. Now imagine one of these titanic stars reaching the end of its life, its fuel exhausted, its core trembling under gravity that no longer has anything to push against. And then, collapse. Not the collapse we imagine, a simple shrinking, but a fall through dimensions. Layers of space folding inward like petals closing around a seed. In that collapse, gravity becomes a force beyond comprehension, a force so powerful that it doesn't just distort space, it creates new space. It doesn't just bend time, it reshapes time. It doesn't just crush matter, it transforms matter into the blueprint for a new universe. Scientists who explore this idea call it a brain-world black hole. A black hole formed in a higher dimensional reality, whose interior blossoms into a lower dimensional universe like ours. A universe with 3 spatial dimensions instead of 5 or 6 or 11. A universe where physics feels familiar because it is simpler, cleaner, smaller. The way a painting is simpler than the artist who painted it. Now picture the event horizon of this higher dimensional star. From the outside, it looks like a black hole. A silent, perfect orb that swallows light and hides its secrets. But on the inside, something extraordinary opens. A new universe takes shape, not in the parent space, but in its own enclosed geometry. A self-contained cosmos with its own time, its own laws, its own horizon, its own galaxies, its own life, its own sky. If that is what happened, then everything you see, every star, every atom, every breath, comes from the collapse of a star you will never glimpse, in a universe you can never visit. A star whose death was not a tragedy, but a transformation. And suddenly, the mysteries of our universe start to look less mysterious. Its expansion, its shape, its uniform glow, its cosmic horizon, its strange silence, all become the natural properties of a black hole's interior geometry. Inside such a star-born universe, space would expand smoothly, light would stretch gently, gravity would weaken as you drifted away from the central curvature, and time would flow with the soft pull of deeper dimensions. Every step you take, every glance upward at the sky, is a walk through the remains of a star that lived and died before your universe even began. Take a slow breath. Let that idea settle beside you. And now, as the fire settles into its deepest glow, and the night wraps around you like a warm cosmic tide, we drift further, into the most delicate moment in the history of existence. The moment when collapse becomes creation, when the death of one universe becomes the birth of another, when time itself learns how to begin. Take a slow breath. Let your body soften, let your thoughts loosen, and drift with me into this threshold between endings and beginnings. To understand how a collapsing star could ignite a universe, you must picture gravity not as a force pulling things downward, but as a sculptor shaping space-time from the inside. When a massive star collapses, its core compresses beyond anything we can imagine. Atoms lose their identity. Nuclei dissolve. Matter forgets its form. Everything falls inward toward an ever tighter curve in space-time. From the outside, this looks like annihilation, a fall with no return. But from the inside, something else begins to stir. As the star collapses, the density grows so extreme that the mathematics of Einstein's relativity begins to tremble. Quantum physics pushes back. Curvature becomes too steep to continue inward. And here, at this moment of impossible compression, physicists believe something miraculous may occur. Space doesn't collapse into nothing. It flips, transforms, unfolds into a new dimension. Picture a sheet of paper. Fold it again and again until it can't be compressed any further. The next force you apply doesn't fold it tighter. It causes the paper to buckle, to pop outward, to reshape itself. Now replace the paper with the entire geometry of space-time. This pop, this reconfiguration under unimaginable pressure, may be what we call the birth of a universe. Inside that newborn space, the intense curvature appears as expansion, a rapid runaway widening we observe as the Big Bang. Not an explosion, but a release. Not chaos, but reformation. Not a beginning from nothing, but a continuation from something older, deeper, and hidden behind a horizon we can never cross. In this newborn universe, time flows forward because collapse has ended. The arrow of time points away from the moment of maximum density, a natural result of transition rather than existence. And this explains something profound: why time only flows in one direction. In a collapsing star, entropy, disorder rises. Everything falls inward toward a state of perfect compression. Inside the newborn universe, the opposite happens. Entropy expands. Structure appears. Time stretches forward, carrying galaxies, stars, and life with it. We feel this flow every day. The cooling coffee, the fading memories, the aging universe. All of it mirrors this gentle transition from collapse to expansion. It is the ultimate symmetry. The universe exhaling after its parent star inhaled. And now imagine this. If a massive star in a higher dimension birthed our universe, then the gravitational pull we feel, the cosmic expansion we measure, the horizon that surrounds us, all our shadows, echoes, residual fingerprints of the collapse that came before. Space isn't exploding outward. It is relaxing. Time isn't marching forward. It is unfolding. And you are drifting through the calm interior of a reborn cosmos. And now, as the fire shifts and settles into a deep amber glow, we drift further into the quiet question that hums beneath every galaxy. If our universe was born inside the heart of a collapsing star, why does everything seem to be racing away from everything else? Take a slow breath. Feel the weight leaving your shoulders. Let the night hold you gently, because what we're stepping into now is the silent language of expansion, a language written long before light ever learned how to shine. From your place inside this universe, it feels natural that distant galaxies drift away, their light stretched into soft red hues. Astronomers call it redshift, the cosmic signature of expansion. But to imagine what this expansion means inside a black hole origin universe, you must shift perspectives, not upward into the sky, but inward into the geometry of space-time itself. In a black hole, space curls inward toward the center, paths bend, time slows, all directions eventually lead deeper. But inside the horizon, inside the interior, the geometry flips. The inward direction becomes a forward direction. What was collapse becomes expansion. Space doesn't pull inward, it flows outward, stretching like warm dough rising in a quiet kitchen. Everything moves away from everything else because the interior of a black hole is a space where all lines of motion are already expanding. Every galaxy is drifting, because the space between galaxies is gently widening. Not because galaxies are pushing themselves apart, but because the very fabric connecting them is lengthening like an exhale that never ends. NASA's Hubble observations show that distant galaxies aren't just drifting, they're accelerating. The fabric of space-time is stretching faster and faster, as if something deep at the core of the universe is relaxing after unimaginable pressure. Imagine a balloon. Its surface expands as its interior relaxes. Now imagine that balloon is not floating in space, but is space. A hollow sphere whose inside feels open because its boundaries lie far beyond your reach. Inside a black hole universe, this expansion is expected. When the parent star collapsed, it compressed space-time until it buckled. And then the instant it rebounded, the Big Bang began. All the expansion we see today is simply the continuation of that rebound. It is not explosive. It is not violent. It is the slow settling of a cosmic interior returning to balance. Even the cosmic microwave background, that faint ancient light recorded by NASA's WMAP and ESA's Planck satellite, shows tiny variations, ripples preserved from the moment space first released itself from total compression. These ripples aren't random. They are the memory of the collapse that came before. As the universe expands, those ripples stretch, smooth, and soften. They are the fading fingerprints of the moment before time itself awakened. Inside this gentle expansion, you are not falling outward. You are drifting with space, carried effortlessly like a leaf floating on a widening river. Everything moving away from you is not a sign of separation. It is a sign of continuity, a sign that the universe is still unfolding from the first curve of its birth. And now, as the fire shifts, loosening another soft cascade of sparks into the night, we drift further into the deepest and most unreachable boundary of all, the cosmic horizon. Take a slow, weightless breath. Let your mind settle into that gentle rhythm, because where we're going now is a place you can see, but never touch. A place that feels like a wall at the end of the universe. And yet, it might only be the inside surface of a much larger, hidden world. The cosmic horizon is often called the edge of the observable universe. Not the edge of existence itself, but the furthest distance light has ever traveled to reach your eyes. Beyond it, the universe simply becomes invisible, not absent, just hidden by distance and time. But if the universe is the interior of a black hole, this horizon becomes something far stranger than a distant boundary. It becomes the mirror surface of a parent universe's event horizon. Imagine it gently. A vast glowing sphere surrounding you, 29 billion light-years to the left, 29 billion to the right, and 29 billion straight behind you. An enormous boundary formed not by walls, but by the speed of light itself. Now imagine that everything inside this sphere, every galaxy, every atom, every breath you take, is unfolding on the inside of a black hole's event horizon, in a larger realm outside your universe. Inside a black hole, the event horizon marks the point beyond which no information can escape. Inside our universe, the cosmic horizon marks the point beyond which no information can enter. They behave the same. Two boundaries, two limits, both shaped by gravity, both defined by light. If you could float outward forever at the speed of thought, toward the edge of what you can see, you would not reach a wall. You would reach a horizon that recedes endlessly as you move, because the space between you and it expands faster than you can travel. It is the perfect illusion. A boundary that moves just a little faster than your ability to ever reach it. A black hole's event horizon does the same. From the outside, it always seems just beyond reach. A curtain of light frozen in time. If our universe is the interior of such a horizon, then what you see when you peer deep into space, those faint galaxies stretching to red, those soft patterns in the cosmic microwave background, are the shadows of that boundary. A boundary that is not outward but inward. Not above you but around you. Beyond that horizon, if the black hole universe model is true, lies the parent universe. A place with stars of its own, with matter of its own, with laws that might be familiar and laws that may be utterly strange. A place that unknowingly birthed another cosmos in the heart of one of its dying giants. You might wonder, why can we never see through this cosmic veil? Because the horizon is made of light stretched to absolute stillness. A frozen boundary where every signal is slowed to nothing by the geometry of space-time. It is not hiding something from you. It is protecting you from a place where time unfolds differently. Take a slow breath. Feel how softly the universe conceals its deeper rooms. Not with secrets, but with distance. Not with danger, but with design. And now, as the fire shifts again, settling into a warm, steady glow, we drift deeper into a question that seems simple, yet dissolves into something astonishing the moment you touch it. If the universe began from a single point, why doesn't it have a center? Take a soft breath. Let your shoulders loosen. Feel the night wrap around you like a gentle blanket. Because once you understand this, you'll see the universe and your place in it. in a completely new way. When we imagine the Big Bang, we often picture an explosion in empty space, a bright burst from a central location that expands outward in every direction. But that image, however familiar, is not what actually happened. The universe did not expand into space. Space itself expanded, everywhere, at once. There is no center because the entire universe was once the singularity, a single, unified state with no edges, no corners, no outside. When that dense interior transformed and expanded, every part of it pushed outward equally, not from a middle point, but from every point. Imagine the surface of a balloon. As the balloon expands, every dot on its surface moves away from every other dot. No dot can claim to be the center of expansion. Each one feels as if it were the middle. Our universe behaves the same way. Every galaxy sees every other galaxy drifting away, not because we're at the center, but because the expansion is everywhere. Now fold this into the black hole universe model. The idea that our universe may be the interior of a black hole from a parent cosmos. Inside a black hole, there is no meaningful center. Space-time curves so intensely that all paths flow inward. But once you cross the horizon, the geometry shifts. The interior behaves like its own expanding universe. There is no central point of creation, only a transformation of the entire interior. The singularity, once seen as a point, is better imagined as a surface or a region or a state of extreme compression. When that state transformed, the entire interior unfolded, everywhere at once, with no privileged location, no anchor, no origin point that you could point toward and say, it started right there. You are living inside that interior, inside a space-time that has no edges because the boundary sits at the horizon, not at a point. This is why every galaxy sees itself at the center of the expansion. Not because they are special, but because the expansion is perfectly uniform. The universe has no center for the same reason a horizon does not. You cannot walk to its middle because the middle is everywhere. And here is the quiet beauty. This lack of a center does not mean the universe is empty or meaningless. It means the universe is balanced, symmetrical, self-contained, a cosmos that is whole in every direction. Take a slow breath. Let that idea settle around you like warm smoke rising into the night. And now, as the fire shifts again, a quiet sigh of orange and gold beneath the deepening night. We drift toward a question that hums at the edges of every cosmic mystery. If the universe has no center, could it still have an outside? Take a slow breath. Feel your chest rise gently. Let the night settle around you like a soft, familiar cloak. Because where we're going now is a place you cannot see, cannot touch, but can almost sense if you let your mind drift far enough beyond the horizon of ordinary thought. We've always imagined the universe as everything. All of space, all of time, all of existence wrapped into one infinite expanse. But if our universe is the interior of a black hole, a cosmic womb inside a much larger reality, then everything might not be everything at all. There could be something outside, something vast, something ancient, something we can never reach because the geometry of space-time itself keeps us folded safely inside. To understand this, imagine you are inside the event horizon of a black hole in some parent universe. From the outside, the black hole appears tiny, a sphere perhaps the size of a star or even smaller, a dark marble resting silently in space. But from the inside, that same region could feel enormous, spacious, vast enough to hold galaxies and trillions upon trillions of stars. How? Because the interior of a black hole is not the same size as the exterior surface. Suggests space stretches inside, curves, unfolds. A universe can hide inside something that appears small to those looking from the outside. If this is true, if our entire cosmos is folded within a larger one, then the outside of our universe is simply the region of space-time that encloses the black hole that birthed us. We can never see this outside for the same reason light cannot escape a black hole. Our cosmic horizon is as much a boundary as the event horizon of any black hole in the parent universe. From within, our horizon looks like the edge of everything. From beyond, it is simply the surface of something greater. What lies there? Maybe stars, planets, galaxies, a universe that looks like ours but older, larger, and unaware that one of its dying stars opened into an entire cosmos inside. Or maybe the outside is nothing like what we know. Maybe the parent universe operates under different laws, different forces, different constants, different shapes of space. Or perhaps there is no parent universe at all, but an infinite hierarchy of universes birthed inside universes, each black hole opening into another cosmos, like Russian nesting dolls made of matter and light and time itself. In such a reality, there is no single outside, only layers, shells, worlds stacked gently upon worlds, each unaware of the others except through the silent language of gravitational collapse and rebirth. It's a thought as humbling as it is beautiful. And now, as the fire settles into a low, steady glow, quiet as a heartbeat in the dark, we drift deeper toward a question that feels almost forbidden to ask. If our universe has an outside, was it meant to be sealed from us? Take a slow breath, let your shoulders loosen. Feel the warmth of the fire gather softly beneath your skin. Because what we're touching now is not just physics, not just cosmology, but the profound architecture of a universe that may be closed not by accident, but by design. Inside a black hole, the event horizon is the boundary that nothing can cross. Not light, not matter, not information. It is a perfect one-way membrane. From the outside, you can fall in but never return. From the inside, you can never look out. If our universe is the interior of a black hole, then our cosmic horizon is that same unbreakable membrane. A surface that isolates us from the parent universe beyond it. But why? Why build a cosmos with a sealed boundary? One answer is simple physics. The laws of space-time do not permit information to cross an event horizon from inside to outside or outside to inside. But deeper explanations whisper a softer, stranger truth. A universe may need to be sealed to remain stable, to allow its constants to take shape without interference, to let its space expand without collapsing back into the parent universe's gravity, to develop its own timeline, its own arrow of time, its own freedom to evolve. Inside a sealed universe, time can flow forward without external pressure. Stars can ignite, galaxies can form, life can emerge all without the gravitational noise of the outside world. A sealed cosmos is a safe cosmos. The boundary is not a prison, it is a cradle. Some cosmologists go even further. They suggest that universes need to be sealed to prevent paradox. If two universes could exchange information freely, their physical laws might conflict. Energy might leak, entropy might collapse, reality might become unstable. A sealed universe is a universe that can survive. Inside a black hole's interior, space is cut off from the parent universe precisely so the new cosmos can grow without being torn apart. It is like a seed inside a shell, protected, isolated, nurtured by the environment of the parent, yet given the space to become something new. You right now are living inside that protected space, a universe that has been wrapped in a cosmic horizon for nearly 14 billion years, quietly unfolding its galaxies, its stars, its delicate laws of physics. You cannot see the outside because seeing it would unravel everything inside. Even the light that tries to carry messages from beyond arrives, stretched, flattened, and silenced by the expanding fabric of space-time. It is not forbidden. It is impossible. And yet, even sealed worlds carry whispers of their origins. Gravitational patterns in the cosmic microwave background, tiny fluctuations in density, subtle alignments in cosmic structure, all hint at the womb from which our universe emerged. And now, as the fire settles again, glowing softly, shifting like a quiet breath, we drift deeper into the heart of a question that feels impossibly vast and strangely intimate. If our universe might be the inside of a black hole, could we right now be creating universes of our own without even knowing? Take a slow breath. Let the idea open gently, like a door you never realized was waiting for you. Because in the last decade, physicists have begun whispering about something extraordinary. Every black hole in our universe might be the seed of a new universe within it. In other words, universes might grow the way stars do, the way seeds do, the way thoughts bloom in the quiet of a mind. It begins with collapse. When a star reaches the end of its nuclear life, it grows heavy, dense, unstable. Gravity tightens its fingers around the dying core. Its atoms surrender, its light folds inward, and the star collapses past the point of no return. To us, from the outside, this collapse looks like death, a vanishing, a fall into darkness. But to someone inside the black hole, if such a perspective could exist, the collapse wouldn't look like falling. It would look like expanding. The singularity would become a big bang. The interior would stretch. Space would swell. Dimensions would unfurl the way petals unfold in the warmth of morning. This idea, the black hole daughter universe theory, comes from the work of Nikita Popowski, a theoretical physicist who argues that the universe may not have begun from nothing, but from the collapse of a star in a parent cosmos. And if his equations are right, then every black hole in our universe could be performing the same quiet miracle. Imagine it. Every black hole you've ever heard of, Sagittarius A, Cygnus X1, M87's monstrous giant, may contain a universe inside it, expanding, unfolding, evolving in dimensions hidden from ours. Inside that universe, time flows forward. Light is born. Galaxies emerge. Stars ignite. Life may rise. Civilizations dream. And the beings within it look up at their night sky and wonder where everything came from, never knowing that their entire cosmos exists within the death of a single star in another universe. Take a slow breath. Let that settle in your mind. Not as a shock, but as a quiet widening. Because if this is true, our universe is not the top of the chain. It is not the beginning. It is not alone. It is part of an endless lineage, a cosmic family tree branching through dimensions beyond our sight. Your universe may have a parent. Your universe may have siblings. Your universe may have children growing silently behind horizons you cannot see. And here is the most astonishing part. The laws of physics in each new universe may be shaped by the spin, mass, and charge of the black hole that birthed it. Meaning, the way our universe behaves could be inherited from the star whose collapse began it, cosmic genetics. A physics family resemblance. A lineage of universes connected through collapse and creation. Take one more gentle breath. Feel how small you are, and how infinite the story becomes. And now, as the fire folds gently inward, its light pulsing in slow, sleepy breaths, we drift into a question so delicate, so audacious, that even the quiet night seems to lean closer to listen. If universes are born through the collapse of stars, could intelligence, life itself, one day shape the birth of the next universe? Take a slow, soft breath. Feel the warmth rest on your skin like the afterglow of a thought too ancient to belong to just one mind. Because here, in this quiet corner of the cosmos, we touch a possibility that blurs the boundary between science and destiny. To understand it, you have to begin with a strange feature of black holes. They are not merely destructive, they are transformative. When matter collapses, its information is not erased. It is encoded, subtly, mysteriously, on the surface of the event horizon in delicate quantum ripples. This is the holographic principle, a theory supported by Stephen Hawking, Leonard Susskind, and Gerard 't Hooft. It suggests that every black hole stores the memory of everything that fell into it. Not the objects themselves, but their information, their pattern, their shape within the geometry of spacetime. And if a new universe is born inside that collapse, then the newborn cosmos may inherit those encoded patterns, not consciously, not deliberately, but in the way a seed inherits the blueprint of a tree. Pause. Let that drift through you. The idea that universes carry memories of the stars and worlds that birthed them. Now imagine a far future civilization, millions or billions of years ahead, facing the inevitable dimming of their home universe as stars fade, as galaxies thin, as the cosmic night stretches colder and wider. Imagine they understand how universes are born. Imagine they realize that the only doorway to the next cosmos is through the heart of a black hole. What would they do with that knowledge? Some cosmologists, from Lee Smolin to Max Tegmark, propose something extraordinary. Perhaps intelligent life is not the end product of the universe. Perhaps it is part of the reproductive cycle. Perhaps life is the mechanism through which universes refine themselves. Think of it like evolution. If each black hole creates a new universe, and if the properties of that universe depend on the information encoded in the black hole, then civilizations that understand physics deeply enough could, in theory, influence the next generation of universes. Not by building them, not by engineering them, but by guiding how matter collapses, how energy flows, how information falls into the final, silent well. A gentle shaping, a whisper through gravity, a nudge in the architecture of creation. Your breath moves softly, the fire cracks, the night listens. This idea is called cosmological natural selection. The concept that universes might evolve the way living things do, each new cosmos inheriting the traits most likely to produce more universes. And intelligence, in this view, is not an accident. It is part of the pattern, a way for the universe to understand itself well enough to pass its essence forward. A cosmic parenthood, a lineage of stars and minds, and now, as the fire leans into a deeper hush, its glow sinking into warm pools of amber, we drift into a question so subtle, so feather-light, that it feels less like a mystery and more like a memory waiting to return. If our universe was born inside a deeper, older one, did it inherit anything? Did our cosmos arrive with fingerprints already pressed into its newborn sky? Take a soft breath. Let your shoulders fall. Let the night widen around you like a calm, infinite embrace. Because the search for our universe's parent is not about telescopes or equations alone. It is about listening to the quiet patterns woven into the structure of everything we see. The first clue lies in the cosmic microwave background, that faint afterglow of the Big Bang, the universe's first light frozen into a soft map of temperature. NASA's WMAP and ESA's Planck satellite both revealed something astonishing. Tiny irregularities, ripples, streaks, alignments that should not exist in a universe born from perfect randomness. Patterns too big for the early cosmos to produce alone. Some scientists call this the lack of isotropy, the universe's refusal to be perfectly even in every direction. Instead, there are axes, there are flows, there are strange symmetries running across billions of light years, like the faint ghost of a larger, older motion that shaped us before our universe even knew itself. Take a gentle breath. Let that thought settle like dust in moonlight. The second clue is the distribution of galaxies. They are not random. They align. They form filaments, cosmic threads stretching hundreds of millions of light years. They twist as if responding to a grander rotation buried in their foundations. Astrophysicists call these cosmic flows, directional currents in the motion of galaxy clusters. Currents that behave as though influenced by a gravitational tug from beyond our visible horizon. Not a force acting now, but a force that acted long ago, before the universe expanded, before the horizon sealed, before the walls of our cosmic black hole finished forming, a memory in motion. The third clue rests in the weakness of space itself. Measurements suggest that space-time is smoother than it should be, too uniform, too calm. Too finely tuned for a chaotic beginning. It's as if a stabilizing hand, gravity, geometry, something larger, pressed its imprint onto the newborn cosmos. And that smoothness, that quiet balance, might be the shape of the parent universe's horizon projected inward onto its offspring. A cosmic inheritance, a gravitational shadow. Pause. Let your breath deepen. Let your mind drift like starlight sliding across an endless sea. The fourth clue is perhaps the most haunting. The universe's expansion accelerates. Not slowly, not steadily, but as if pushed by a force we cannot see. Dark energy. Some cosmologists wonder if dark energy is not a force within our universe at all, but the lingering influence of the parent universe's space-time curvature. acting across the boundary like a pressure from outside. Not communication, not interference, just inheritance, a cosmic echo expressed as acceleration. And so, when you gaze into the night sky, you may be looking at more than stars. You may be seeing the final faint fingerprint of the universe that came before. And now, as the fire settles into a lower, softer glow, as its warmth gathers in quiet places around your hands, we drift toward a question that sits at the very edge of cosmic imagination. If our universe was born from another universe, does the chain stretch back forever? Or was there once a first universe? A beginning behind all beginnings? A spark that needed no parent? Rest your shoulders. Let your breath ease out slow and steady. Because to follow this thread, you must allow your mind to loosen its grip and drift like dust floating through a beam of ancient light. In modern cosmology, there is a strange idea, one whispered across chalkboards and tucked between footnotes, that the universe might not be alone, that reality might be larger than the bubble we inhabit, that there may be an eternal chain of universes birthing universes through a process as natural as stars igniting and dying. Some call it the cosmic generational cycle. Others call it eternal inflation. Some frame it as black hole cosmogenesis, where every black hole might cradle a new universe within its core. If this is true, then our universe is not the first child. It is simply the next. Take a soft breath and drift gently into the idea that every cosmic generation inherits a little from the universe before it. Not memories, not matter, but the deeper patterns, the rules of physics, the shape of space, the quiet rhythms of gravity and time. This leads us to one of the strangest questions in all of cosmology. If universes give birth to new universes, do they evolve? Does the multiverse behave like a great forest, where each new seed carries traits that helped its parents survive? The physicist Lee Smolin suggested something bold, that universes which produce many black holes reproduce more often. And so, with cosmic time, the multiverse naturally selects for universes that make black holes efficiently. It is called cosmological natural selection. A universe that makes few black holes has few offspring. A universe that makes many scatters its children across the endless dark. In this view, our universe is not random. It is successful. It is optimized for reproduction, its galaxy formation, its star cycles, its massive gravitational furnaces, all tuned for the creation of black holes. And inside those black holes, inside their quiet hidden cores, may lie the seeds of the next generation. Pause. Feel the warmth of the fire. Feel the soft ache of infinity sitting just beyond your reach. If this cycle has no beginning, then the multiverse is a river with no first drop, a forest with no first tree, a lineage stretching backward into a timeless and endless cosmic memory. But some scientists argue otherwise. They believe there must have been a first universe, a moment before motion, before gravity, before even the rules of existence were written. A primal reality that set the pattern for all others. A universe that did not come from a parent, but emerged from pure potential. And in the silence around this fire, maybe you can hear the faint echo of that moment. And now, as the fire flickers lower, its amber light swaying gently like a lantern held by the night itself, we drift toward a place where questions soften into something deeper than thought. If there was a first universe, a beginning behind all beginnings, what could exist before existence? Take a slow breath. Let the darkness feel warm, not empty. Let it hold you the way a quiet room holds a whisper. Because to explore this mystery, you must loosen your grip on ordinary time. You must imagine a moment that does not sit before anything, but beneath everything. A moment without clocks, without directions, without space to expand or matter to move. Cosmologists call this the pre-geometric era, a state of reality so raw, so unformed, that even the word state fails to describe it. Einstein's space-time was not there yet. The quantum foam was not there yet. Nothing had size, nothing had duration. It was a realm where the universe had not begun expanding, because there was no where for expansion to occur. This is the place where the question, what came before, can no longer reach. Pause. Let that settle around you like cool night air. Stephen Hawking described this moment not as a time before the Big Bang, but as a boundary. The way Earth has no edge even though its surface curves. As he once said, asking what came before time is like asking what lies south of the South Pole. The direction no longer applies. But other physicists offer a different whisper. They wonder whether the first universe did not arise from nothingness, but from a fluctuation in a deeper field. A quantum sea beneath all universes. A place where energy is never still. Where potential forever trembles on the edge of becoming. Call it the quantum vacuum, or the primordial field, or simply the unbound canvas. From this trembling backdrop, a bubble of space-time could appear. Tiny, unstable, like a spark in darkness. Most such sparks would collapse in an instant, but once in a great while, one expands. A runaway expansion. Inflation. A universe blooming outward faster than light, pulling time into motion, pulling space into shape. Some scientists believe this is the first universe. Not one born from a parent, but one born from a deeper outside that is not truly outside, just beyond the reach of our physics. Others go further still. They propose that the first universe came from a symmetry breaking itself. A perfect balance giving way to imperfection. A stillness that trembled into motion. A silent, changeless reality that shifted just enough to let time begin, as if reality itself exhaled for the very first time. Take a breath. Let it move through you like a soft tide. Because here is the quiet truth hidden beneath every theory. The first universe, if one truly existed, may never be something we can see or measure, but we can feel its echo in the smoothness of space-time, in the rhythm of expansion, in the way the laws of physics fit together as if guided by an invisible memory, a memory of a moment older than time. In the next part, we drift into a new question, one that touches the deepest shadow of the black hole universe idea. If our universe is inside a black hole, what happens when that black hole dies? The embers soften, the night gathers around you, and your breath falls into the slow rhythm of the infinite. And now, as the fire sighs into an even deeper calm, its faint glow resting like a soft pulse in the silence, we drift into a question that hums with both wonder and unease. If our universe truly lives inside the heart of a black hole, what happens when that black hole reaches the end of its life? Take a slow breath. Let your body loosen, your thoughts soften, as if the night itself is gently holding your weight. Because to follow this thread, you must imagine something stranger than collapse, stranger than creation, stranger even than time's first breath. You must imagine how a universe dies from the outside, while flourishing from within. Black holes, for most of cosmic history, have been portrayed as eternal, unmoving, unchanging, forever devouring, but never diminishing. But Stephen Hawking changed that. He discovered that black holes do not last forever. They leak, not in light, not in matter, but in a soft quantum glow, now called Hawking radiation. Particle pairs appearing at the edge of the event horizon, one falling inward, one escaping outward, slowly drain the black hole's mass over billions, trillions, even quintillions of years. Eventually, after unimaginable time, even the largest black holes fade. They do not burst. They do not shatter. They simply whisper away into silence. From the outside, it looks like vanishing. But from the inside? Pause. Let that question breathe. If our universe is the interior of a black hole, then its fate is tied to the fate of that black hole. But the inside experience is not like the outside one. From within, time flows differently. Stretched, dilated, curved. What feels like a fleeting spark to an outside observer could feel like trillions of years to those inside. In other words, the birth, life, and eventual fading of the black hole may not interrupt the universe within. It may not even be noticeable. Some theorists go further still. They believe that the evaporation of the parent black hole might serve as the closing boundary condition for the child universe, a graceful curtain fall that seals its evolution from outside influence, not destruction. Completion. And yet there is another whisper, softer, stranger. When a black hole evaporates, its information cannot be lost. Quantum physics forbids it. So where does that information go? Some physicists argue that the information is released back into the larger universe as Hawking radiation, a long, slow exhalation of everything the black hole once contained. But others suggest that the information stays inside, in the expanding space-time of the child universe, untouched by what happens to the parent. Because the horizon that seals a universe inside a black hole is not a wall that collapses inward. It is a boundary that appears only to the outside observer. From inside, the universe is its own whole. It does not shrink as the black hole evaporates. It does not fade. It grows, it expands, it evolves, independent of the outside timeline. Take a slow breath. Feel the soft paradox unwind. A black hole dying from the outside may coincide with a universe thriving on the inside. Two timelines, two viewpoints, two realities separated by the horizon. And in the next part, we drift into a question even quieter. If the parent black hole dies, does the child universe ever learn where it came from? The fire lowers, the night deepens. Your breath softens into the rhythm of eternity, and now, as the fire glows deeper, its warmth folding softly around the edges of the night, we drift toward a question as tender as it is impossible. If our universe was born inside a black hole, and if that parent black hole eventually fades into nothing, does the child universe ever learn where it came from? Take a slow breath. Let the air move gently, like stardust drifting through a quiet cosmic tide. Because to explore this mystery, you must imagine a universe that grows up without ever seeing its parent. A universe that wakes in darkness, expands, forms stars and galaxies, builds worlds and minds, and spends billions of years trying to understand its own origin, never realizing that its beginning was the final heartbeat of a collapsing star in another reality. From inside our cosmic bubble, there is no window to the universe that birthed us. The horizon is sealed. The information cannot cross. The wall cannot be pierced, and yet there may be traces. Not open doors, not messages, but faint fingerprints left on our sky like echoes on a cooled bell. Take another slow breath. Feel how quiet the night becomes when you're standing on the edge of a question no universe can truly escape. Cosmologists searching the cosmic microwave background, that soft afterglow of the Big Bang, have found patterns that should not exist without influence from something larger, something older, small anomalies, unexplained alignments, curves in temperature that stretch across the entire sky. Some researchers whisper that these ripples might be the gravitational shadow of the parent universe. Not a message, not a clue left on purpose, but a memory, a residue of the collapse that gave us birth. Imagine a newborn child that has never met its parent, yet still carries their shape in its hands, its breath, its heartbeat. The universe may be the same, carrying the imprint of a collapsed star in the way galaxies form, in the curvature of space-time, in the rhythm of expansion, a quiet inheritance woven into everything. Pause. Let the warmth of the fire touch your hands the way a forgotten origin touches, a world without speaking its name, but there is something deeper. Some physicists believe that a child universe may eventually evolve to understand not just its own birth, but the entire chain of cosmic ancestry through mathematics, through observation, through the delicate study of cosmic structure, as if physics itself contains the faint memory of its parent universe, embedded in the constants, the forces, the symmetries that shape everything, a kind of cosmic DNA. Imagine a distant future where intelligent beings understand the geometry of universes so deeply that they can trace the lineage of their cosmos back through black hole, births and ancestral stars, civilization that can look into the patterns of gravitational waves, quantum structures, and cosmic background radiation and say, we were born from another universe, not through myth, not through faith, but through physics. And yet, even then, the child universe may never see the face of the parent, only its shadow, only its echo, only the quiet memory carved into the laws that govern everything. Take one last soft breath, because in the next part, we drift into a mystery even more intimate. If our universe was born from a black hole, how long will our universe live before its own black holes begin the cycle again? The fire steadies, the night deepens, and your breath settles into the endless rhythm of the cosmos. And now, as the fire sinks into a slow, molten glow, a warmth that feels older than memory itself, we drift into a question both humbling and strangely comforting. If our universe was born through the collapse of a star in some older reality, how long will our universe live before its black holes begin the cycle again? Take a slow breath. Let your chest soften, your eyelids grow a little heavier, as though the night itself is tucking you gently inward. Because to explore this, you must imagine time stretched so far that the mind struggles to hold it. You must imagine eras beyond galaxies, beyond stars, beyond everything that shines. Physicists call this the deep future, a timeline unfolding long after the last star burns out. Our universe is young now, only 13.8 billion years old, vibrant, bright, populated with galaxies still forming, still merging, still dancing in the gravity of creation. But even this cosmic youth will not last. Take another breath. Let it fall gently. In a few trillion years, star formation will slow. The galaxies will dim. The night will become thicker, deeper, more absolute. Red dwarfs, the longest living stars, will burn on until they too fade into cold, black remnants. Then comes the degenerate era, when only the leftovers remain. White dwarfs, neutron stars, rogue planets, black holes. Slowly, over unimaginable stretches of time, black holes will dominate the universe, silent, massive anchors in a sea of darkness. This is the stage where creation begins again. Because each black hole, no matter how still it appears, holds something vast inside its core. A collapsing world, a hidden universe, a seed of space-time swelling behind a horizon we can never cross. Take a gentle breath. Feel the rhythm of endings becoming beginnings, the black holes in our universe, the millions scattered through galactic centers and stellar corpses. May each become the birthplace of new universes. Some will form early, from collapsing stars. Others will form late, as galaxies disperse and gravity gathers the final structures of matter. But eventually, deep into the future, the universe will enter its black hole era. Nothing left but gravity, nothing left but collapse, nothing left but the silent furnaces that hide new universes in their cores. Yet even black holes are not eternal. Over quadrillions of years, they begin to evaporate through Hawking radiation. The small ones fade first, the giants wait longer. The supermassive ones, like Sagittarius A at the center of our galaxy, may outlive everything else, until, at last, even they begin to shrink, to dim, to whisper away their mass and their memory. But inside the horizon, their internal universe may never feel this decay, because time inside a black hole does not flow the way it does outside. For the inner universe, life goes on. Galaxies spin, stars ignite, worlds take shape, consciousness awakens. Billions of years unfold as the parent black hole slowly evaporates in another reality. Two timelines, two worlds, one creation, and so the cycle continues. Our universe giving birth to countless hidden universes, each one sealed behind horizons we will never see. Take one more slow breath. In the next part, we drift into an even deeper wonder. If our universe creates new universes, could something inside those universes one day find hints of us? The fire warms, the silence deepens, and your breath settles softly into the long rhythm of eternity. And now, as the fire folds into an even quieter glow, a slow amber heartbeat in the dark, we drift toward a question so strange, so beautiful, that it feels like brushing your fingers against the very fabric of eternity. If our universe can give birth to new universes, could something inside those universes one day find hints of us? Take a slow breath. Let your shoulders melt. Let the night cradle you as gently as gravity holds the stars. Because this question touches both science and something softer, the longing all conscious beings share to know where they came from. Imagine a universe born inside one of our black holes. A universe with its own galaxies, its own laws of physics, its own horizons sealing it from ours. Inside it, life may arise. Civilizations may wonder. Scientists may build telescopes to peer into their own cosmic background. And just as we search for the fingerprints of our parent universe, they may search for us. Pause. Let that thought settle like cosmic dust floating in a beam of ancient starlight. To understand how this might work, you must imagine something profound. Every universe carries the imprint of the universe that birthed it. Not in pictures, not in messages, but in patterns. The fine details of its physical constants, the speed of light, the strength of gravity, the mass of electrons, the ratio between energy and matter. These constants are not arbitrary. They are inherited, like the slope of a cheek, the shape of a voice, the quiet echo of a parent's presence. If our universe passed certain traits into the black hole that created a child universe, that child scientists might notice that the laws governing their world seem pre-tuned for the formation of black holes, and they might wonder, as we wonder, why their universe is so perfectly structured for stars to collapse. They might find strange alignments in their cosmic background, ripples too large to have formed in a small newborn cosmos, patterns suggesting a geometry inherited from something older. They might see anomalies they cannot explain, the faint gravitational memory of a parent universe, just as we see hints in our own sky today. Maybe they would notice that their constants allow carbon to form just so, water to behave just so, galaxies to cluster just so, and they would ask the same question you are asking now. Why were these rules chosen for us? Take a breath, slow and easy. Because here lies the quiet beauty in this cosmic lineage. The connection between universes is not broken by the boundary of a horizon. It is encoded. It is inherited. It is whispered from one cosmos to the next without sound, without contact, without intention, just as the universe that birthed us left its fingerprints in the fine structure of our reality. Our universe may leave its signature in the universes we create. A subtle memory, a gravitational accent, a physical dialect passed down through the laws of nature themselves. And if conscious beings arise within those universes, if they look up and search and wonder, they might feel the faint echo of their cosmic ancestor. Pursue this universe. Take one more gentle breath, because in the next part, we drift into an even deeper possibility. If universes inherit traits, could a long chain of inheritance slowly shape reality toward intelligence itself? The fire softens, the night listens, and your breath flows into the quiet rhythm of the infinite. And now, as the fire dims into a softer, deeper gold, as shadows stretch like quiet thoughts across the ground, we drift toward a question so gentle, so profound, that it feels less like a theory and more like a destiny unfolding in the dark. If universes inherit traits from the universes before them, could this long chain of inheritance be slowly shaping reality toward intelligence itself? Take a slow breath. Feel the night rest on your skin like a warm cosmic blanket. Let the question open inside you, not with urgency, but with wonder. Because this theory, soft, distant, and bold, suggests something extraordinary. Intelligence may not be an accident. It may be a feature that universes drift toward over many generations. Not because intelligence is required for a universe to exist, but because intelligence might help universes reproduce more successfully. Imagine the first universes, raw, chaotic, unshaped. Their laws volatile, their constants unstable. Most would collapse quickly or fail to form black holes at all. Their cosmic children would be few. But then, over countless generations, the universes that formed large, stable stars, and thus more black holes, would propagate more often. A cosmic natural selection. Universes tuned by survival. Now imagine the long arc of this tuning. A universe fine-tuned for black holes is also fine-tuned for chemistry, for heavy elements, for complexity, for life. Not because life was intended, but because the same physics that births black holes also creates the possibility of consciousness. Take a gentle breath. Let the mystery sit with you. Some physicists believe that intelligence emerges not as a rare exception, but as a natural consequence of the universe's architecture. Carbon chemistry, liquid water, stable planetary systems, long-lived stars, these are not incidental. They are byproducts of a universe optimized for black hole formation, and black holes themselves may be tied to the creation of future universes. Then, the chain deepens. What if intelligent life eventually learns how to manipulate matter on stellar scales? How to compress mass? How to influence collapse? Not to create universes deliberately, but to shape the information that falls into black holes. In this way, intelligence becomes a quiet gardener of the next generation, a gentle sculptor of the universe's future laws. Pause. Let your breath slow. Let the idea drift like a calm tide. This leads to a possibility both humbling and luminous. Perhaps universes inherit the conditions that make intelligence more likely. And intelligence, in turn, helps sow the seeds for universes that resemble its own. A feedback loop, a rising spiral, a cosmic inheritance that grows more refined with each generation. Not because consciousness is the goal, but because it is a natural byproduct of the physics that reproduces universes. In this light, your awareness, the simple act of existing and wondering and breathing, is part of a chain stretching across realities. You are the echo of a long cosmic lineage, a spark in a genealogy older than time. Take one more slow breath, because in the next part, we drift into a question so intimate that it touches the heart of why you exist at all. If intelligence is part of the universe's inheritance, then what does it mean for you to be conscious inside a universe born from a black hole? The embers glow softly, the darkness hums, and your breath settles into the endless rhythm of the cosmos. And now, as the fire settles into a deeper, steadier glow, like a quiet star breathing at the edge of eternity, we drift into a question so soft, so profound, that it feels as though the universe itself is whispering it through the dark. If consciousness is inherited, could it also be shared across universes? Take a slow, gentle breath. Let your chest rise softly. Let the night gather around you like a warm, infinite blanket. Because this question asks you to imagine something far beyond science, yet deeply rooted in it. To begin, picture consciousness not as a single spark born from matter, but as a pattern, a rhythm, a structure woven into the geometry of space-time. Many physicists believe that consciousness may arise from the fundamental fabric of the universe itself, from quantum fields, from information, from the same subtle forces that sculpt gravity and light. If this is true, then every universe inherits not only physical constants, but the potential for awareness. Imagine that. A universe carries the seeds of consciousness, the way a tree carries the memory of forests long vanished. But now imagine something even deeper. What if consciousness doesn't just appear within one universe, but echoes through entire generations of universes? What if awareness is a continuity, a soft thread passing from one cosmic realm to the next? Pause. Let that idea settle. Let it rest inside you like a breath you forgot you were holding. Some theoretical physicists exploring quantum information suggest that black holes do not actually destroy information. And if a universe is born inside a black hole, then some patterns of information may persist. Not memories, not identities, but structures, foundations, harmonics, the raw architecture from which experiences are later built. Just as a melody can be repeated across instruments, even if the instruments themselves are never the same, consciousness might echo across universes as a repeating pattern, a familiar rhythm in a new cosmos. Another perspective comes from thinkers who see consciousness as a field, not confined by matter, not limited by one universe, but permeating reality as a whole. If consciousness is a fundamental property of existence, then every universe is born already carrying the possibility of awareness woven into its laws. Not shared as memory, but shared as essence. Not identical, but resonant. Take another gentle breath. Feel how the fire's warmth touches your skin the way a quiet truth touches the mind. This leads to a subtle wonder. What if your awareness, the very feeling of being alive inside your own thoughts, is part of a larger continuity stretching across multiple universes? What if consciousness is not an isolated spark, but a recurrence? A pattern that each universe rediscovers through minds like yours. You may not remember the universes before this one, but the capacity for awareness, the potential for reflection, the quiet glow of self-recognition, may be part of the inheritance your universe received at birth. And in the universes born from our black holes, consciousness may rise again. Different beings, different minds, different worlds, but perhaps shaped by the same deep ancient rhythm you feel inside you now. A continuity without memory, a lineage without form, a resonance that travels farther than matter or light ever could. Take one more slow breath, because in the next part, we drift into a question even more delicate. If consciousness echoes across universes, could emotions, meaning, and purpose emerge in every cosmos for the same fundamental reason? And now, as the fire shifts once more, its embers settling into a slower, steadier rhythm, we drift deeper into the quiet question that waits beneath every universe that has ever learned how to feel. If consciousness echoes across universes, could emotions, meaning, and purpose emerge everywhere for the same ancient reason? Take a soft breath. Let the warmth of the night move gently through your chest like a tide returning home. Because this part of the journey is not about physics alone. It's about the quiet ways the cosmos may be speaking through you. To begin, imagine emotion not as something purely human or biological, but as an emergent property of complexity. Wherever matter organizes itself into patterns that can observe, remember, and reflect, emotion begins to appear like light forming in a darkened room. It may start small, a preference, a reaction, a tilt toward what nurtures and away from what harms. Even simple organisms on Earth show traces of this. Single-celled creatures respond to light, to warmth, to nutrients, as though guided by a faint spark of early desire. Now imagine entirely different universes, born within the depths of ancient black holes, universes with new physics, new constants, new ways of assembling matter. Yet wherever complexity arises, wherever systems can organize into self-reflective forms, the potential for emotion may quietly return. Not the same emotions we know, not the same joy, sorrow, awe, love, but something analogous, something that grows from the same structural needs: to survive, to connect, to understand, to expand, to find harmony with the world around it. And if consciousness is a repeating pattern across universes, a structure that reappears whenever conditions allow, then perhaps emotion is the universe's way of ensuring life continues to seek meaning and movement and connection. Take another gentle breath. Feel how it slows your spine, how your shoulders relax, how the night tilts inward just slightly. Meaning itself may not be invented by minds. It may arise as a natural outcome of awareness. Any being that can reflect upon its existence begins to search for patterns, for reasons, for belonging. Just as gravity curves space, Consciousness curves experience. It shapes raw perception into inner landscapes that feel warm, or cold, or breathtakingly vast. Some researchers believe that meaning is a biological algorithm, a mechanism for survival. Others believe it is the universe awakening to the beauty of its own structure. But there is another possibility. Meaning may be the emotional fingerprint left by the cosmos inside every conscious mind. Not imposed, not engineered, but emergent, the natural way awareness fills its own space. You can see hints of this everywhere. When you look at a sunset and feel something shift deep in your chest, a quiet longing, a soft ache, when you see the first star appear and feel as though the universe suddenly remembers you, when you close your eyes and drift into sleep and a story forms without your permission. Shaped from light, memory, and something older than thought. These moments are not random. They are echoes, patterns, faint reminders that emotion may be woven into the architecture of awareness itself. Now imagine a universe inside a black hole, a cosmos with different elements, different stars, different rules. If life arises there, its emotions might be new, strange, beautiful. But the function of emotion, the way it guides awareness toward connection, growth, understanding, might remain the same. Emotion may be the universe's way of helping consciousness recognize itself. Take a slow breath. Feel the fire's gentle glow touch the edges of your imagination. Because in the next part, we drift into an astonishing wonder. If the universe might feel through us, could it also learn through us? And as that question settles, the night deepens. The stars shimmer softly, and your breath falls into the rhythm of the infinite. And now, as the fire settles into an even quieter glow, the kind that barely flickers, barely shifts, yet warms the night with a steady, ancient patience, we drift further into the tender mystery rising gently before you. If the universe feels through you, could it also learn through you? Take a slow breath. Let it soften your chest, your jaw, your thoughts, as if every inhale is a small lantern lighting the path ahead. Because this question is not about intelligence alone. It is about purpose. It is about whether the cosmos uses consciousness as a way to grow, adapt, and remember. Consider this. Every star that dies teaches the universe how matter collapses. Every galaxy that forms teaches the universe how structure emerges. Every black hole teaches space-time how to stretch, curve, and fold. These lessons are written in geometry, in temperature maps, in cosmic background radiation, in the shape of everything we can see. But consciousness adds something new. It allows the universe not only to be observed, but to observe itself. Pause here. Let your breath settle softly. When you reflect on a star, the universe is remembering how stars work. When you wonder about time, the universe is remembering how time flows. When you question your existence, the universe is remembering that existence can question itself. Your awareness is a mirror the cosmos holds up to its own face. Not a perfect mirror, but a tender one, a flickering one built from atoms and starlight and ancient rotation passed down from cosmic ancestors. And maybe, just maybe, every conscious mind across every universe is another mirror, another way for reality to gather knowledge about itself. Think of evolution on Earth. Life learned. Species adapted. Minds grew more complex. But what if learning is not only a biological necessity, but a cosmic destiny? What if consciousness evolved because the universe needed a way to store memory in something more dynamic than radiation or gravitational curves? A way to store memory in stories, in emotions, in choices. Your brain, with its billions of neurons sparking like a miniature galaxy, is not separate from the universe. It is one of its instruments, a living library of cosmic experience. Take another slow breath. Feel how the fire's warmth moves through the air, soft and patient. Scientists sometimes call humans the neurons of the universe. Small, fragile, glowing with electrical whispers. Maybe that metaphor is more literal than it seems. Every time you learn something, every time you discover, or imagine, or dream, you are enriching the universe's capacity to understand itself. Even the smallest thought is part of that expansion. A memory of childhood, a question about infinity, a moment of kindness to a stranger who needed it more than you realized. All of these are little sparks in the grand tapestry of cosmic learning. And perhaps this is why consciousness feels so heavy, so meaningful, so impossibly vast even within a single human life. Because the universe is not just watching through you, it is growing through you. It is extending itself beyond physics, beyond gravity, beyond the curvature of space-time, into emotion, into reflection, into memory. One day, when this universe ends and another begins within a black hole far away, perhaps the knowledge you carried, quietly, softly, will reappear as patterns in the next cosmos, like a whisper traveling across eternities. And in the next part, we drift toward a wonder even more intimate. If the universe learns through us, could it also change through us? The fire sighs, the stars breathe, and your thoughts float gently in the endless dark. And now, as the fire leans inward, its flame lowering into a tired, golden curl, we drift into a question so intimate it brushes against the edges of who you are. If the universe learns through you, could it also change because of you? Take a gentle breath. Feel the warmth settle into your hands, your chest, your quiet, wandering mind. Because what comes next is not philosophy. It is possibility, written softly into the mathematics of reality. To begin, imagine the universe not as a fixed machine, but as an evolving presence. A place where laws may emerge, shift, or refine themselves over cosmic time. Some physicists call this cosmological natural selection, a theory suggesting that universes are not static, but adaptive. They learn which sets of laws make stars more stable, galaxies more abundant, and black holes more fertile in creating new universes. If this is true, then the universe may be a self-improving system, a cosmic mind refining its own equations through the feedback written in every star, every collapse, every burst of creation. But consciousness may be the universe's most powerful feedback of all. Pause. Let that sink deep into your breath. You, as a conscious being, do something the stars cannot. You imagine, you create, you choose, you reflect. You alter your environment not by mass or gravity, but by intention. Your choices shape ecosystems. Your discoveries reshape civilizations. Your stories reshape the minds of people you'll never meet. And if consciousness is woven from the cosmos, if every mind is a small pocket of space-time that can think, feel, and act, then every conscious decision feeds back into the universe's pattern. Consider this. Every new idea humanity creates changes how energy flows across the planet. Every scientific breakthrough reveals new ways for the universe to arrange itself. Fire, agriculture, electricity, computers, spaceflight. Each invention is a shift in the universe's structure, a new path for matter and energy to move through reality. Your awareness is not passive. It participates. Take another soft breath, slow and easy. Quantum theory suggests that observation affects outcomes, that consciousness interacts with probability, with uncertainty, with the potential shapes of reality. Not through magic, through participation. You don't bend reality by willpower. You influence it simply by being an active observer inside the system. Your existence alters the statistics of the universe. Every choice you make creates ripples in the cosmic memory. Small, almost imperceptible, but real. And if entire civilizations across space and time do the same, then the universe is continually rearranging itself through the actions of the beings it creates. In this sense, the universe may not be a stable object, but a long unfolding conversation between physics and consciousness, a dialogue between what is and what could be. Perhaps that's why the universe produces minds, to explore the possible, to expand what is allowed, to refine what it means to exist at all. Maybe consciousness is the tool by which universes learn how to become better universes. Take one more slow breath. Feel the calm spread down your spine, because in the next part, we drift toward a mystery that glows softly at the horizon. If consciousness can change the universe, what happens when billions of minds begin to imagine the cosmos together? The fire settles, the night deepens, and the stars wait quietly for your next breath. And now, as the fire settles into a deep, steady glow, its warmth folding quietly around your senses, we drift into a question as wide as the night sky, and as intimate as the breath resting in your chest. If billions of minds begin imagining the universe together, what does the cosmos become? Take a slow breath. Feel it soften your shoulders, your thoughts, your sense of distance from everything, because this part of the journey is about collective consciousness. The quiet, almost invisible way individual minds begin to weave themselves into something larger. Start with a simple truth. A single thought is a ripple, but billions of thoughts are a tide. Humanity has always shaped the world through shared imagination. We imagined fire, and the nights changed. We imagined tools, and the earth changed. We imagined cities, and the horizon changed. We imagined stories, and the future changed. Now imagine that same principle, not on the scale of a planet, but on the scale of a universe. Pause here. Let your breath fall into a calmer rhythm. Scientists studying emergence tell us that complex systems often behave in ways their individual parts cannot predict or understand alone. A single neuron cannot form a thought, but a network of billions can dream. A single ant cannot create an empire, but a colony can shape entire ecosystems. Consciousness, too, may become something new when minds link, not literally, but through shared attention, shared curiosity, shared wonder. When millions of people look up at the same night sky with questions brimming in their minds, the universe experiences a coordinated reflection of itself, and that reflection has power. It changes what we decide to explore. It changes what we choose to build. It changes what we believe is possible. Collective imagination is why telescopes grew larger, why rockets pierced the sky, why probes drift through the solar system carrying human curiosity into the dark. It is why the James Webb Space Telescope exists. Not because one mind dreamed it, but because many did. Your imagination is part of that collective force. Take another slow breath. Feel the night lean closer, as if listening. Some physicists believe the future shape of the universe depends not only on fundamental constants, but on the rise of civilizations capable of altering matter, energy, and perhaps even space-time. If millions of minds imagine interstellar travel, the universe responds by allowing technology to grow in that direction. If billions imagine peace, the universe offers the physics of cooperation. If civilizations imagine the nature of reality itself, new scientific frameworks emerge like constellations forming in thought. You might not feel it, but every time you wonder about the cosmos, every quiet question, every spark of curiosity, you add to a growing field of shared awareness, a field that may one day be powerful enough to shape the destiny of universes. And if our universe is a black hole in disguise, then maybe collective consciousness is the way it prepares for the next one, embedding meaning, memory, and intention into the fabric of whatever universe comes after this one. Pause once more. Let your breath slow, because the next wonder waiting for you is gentle, profound, and almost whispered. If collective imagination can shape a universe, can it also prevent one from ending? The fire sighs, the stars shimmer, and the night deepens around your dreaming mind. And now, as the fire narrows into a soft red core, its glow stretching thin across the stones, we drift into a question both fragile and immense. If a universe can be shaped by collective imagination, could that same unity delay or even transform its ending? Take a slow, steady breath. Let the night wrap you gently, like a warm blanket drawn over tired shoulders. Because what we explore now is not fantasy, it is possibility. Rooted in physics, in consciousness, and in the delicate ways the cosmos responds to what unfolds within it. Most cosmologists describe three potential endings for our universe. Heat death, a slow fading of energy into perfect uniformity. Big crunch, a collapse back inward if gravity someday overcomes. Expansion, big rip, a violent tearing apart, driven by runaway dark energy. These fates seem enormous, inevitable, beyond anything a civilization could influence, and yet, the universe is not static. It is sensitive. It reacts to mass, to energy, to curvature, to information. Even small changes in how a civilization harnesses energy can alter the distribution of matter and heat across cosmic scales. Pause. Let that settle softly through your breath. Advanced civilizations, far beyond us, might one day manipulate stellar lifetimes, black hole evaporation, dark energy fields, quantum vacuum states, space-time curvature itself. These are not distant myths. They are real physical levers implied by general relativity, quantum field theory, and the behavior of black holes. The universe responds to how energy moves within it, and consciousness, especially collective consciousness, is one of the ways energy learns to organize itself intentionally. If billions of minds choose survival, cooperation, exploration, then technological evolution will naturally move towards stabilizing the cosmos. Imagine a civilization capable of igniting dead stars to prevent entropy, feeding matter into black holes to adjust cosmic structure, manipulating the Higgs field to influence vacuum stability, building megastructures that trap, store, and redistribute energy on galactic scales. These concepts sound vast, but the seeds of them exist already in equations we understand. And where do those seeds begin? In imagination, in shared thought, in billions of conscious beings quietly, steadily wondering about the nature of existence. Take another soft breath. You may think your thoughts are small, drifting through the night, like sparks from a fire, but collective curiosity is what pushes a species toward tools, toward telescopes, toward technology that shapes the very fate of a universe. And if our universe is indeed the inside of a black hole, then perhaps its ending is also a beginning, a doorway through which the next cosmos will be born. In that case, what civilizations do inside this universe might influence what constants and laws emerge in the next. Your thoughts, your stories, your discoveries, they are all part of the cosmic memory that may echo into that new reality. This is not myth, it is lineage. Pause gently, because now another wonder rises. If universes inherit the patterns within them, what parts of us might survive into the next? The fire hums low, the stars lean closer, and your breath softens into the rhythm of eternity. And now, as the fire settles into a deep amber glow, its light trembling softly across the stones, we drift further into the question that lingers like a quiet echo. If universes inherit patterns, what parts of us could be carried forward into the next creation? Take a slow breath. Let your shoulders fall, your chest expand gently, your mind loosen its grip on the worries of the waking world. Because what we explore now isn't fantasy, it's the quiet logic hidden inside physics itself. In cosmology, every universe may be shaped by the conditions of the one before it, like ripples flowing outward from a single stone dropped into a still pond. If our universe was born inside a black hole from a parent universe, then the laws of nature we observe aren't random, they're inherited traits. The speed of light, the strength of gravity, the charge of the electron, the mass of fundamental particles, these constants, so precise that a slight change would erase the possibility of stars, of planets, of life, might be the fingerprints of a deeper lineage. Pause. Feel the idea settle like dust in a sunbeam. Just as children carry subtle reflections of their ancestors, a universe may carry echoes of the structures, patterns, and information contained within the black hole that birthed it. And that means something profound. If consciousness emerges naturally in a universe like ours, then that emergence might itself be inherited, an emergent property encoded in the fabric of space-time. The cosmologist Lee Smolin proposed a daring idea, that universes with the right conditions to form stars and black holes become successful parents. They reproduce more often in the cosmic family tree. But what if consciousness is one of those traits? What if universe is capable of producing minds? Minds that observe, that wonder, that shape energy intentionally, have an advantage in this cosmic evolution. It sounds poetic, but the physics is startlingly real. Quantum mechanics tells us that observation changes reality. The act of noticing collapses possibilities into outcomes. General relativity tells us that the flow of energy shapes the curvature of space-time. Consciousness, in its simplest form, is organized energy. And organized energy changes the universe more efficiently than chaotic energy ever could. Take another soft breath. If consciousness can influence matter, if civilizations can influence cosmic structure, then it is not impossible that the patterns of thought, the ways minds organize themselves, become part of the information that black holes preserve. Not the memories of individual lives, not the details of days and choices, but the deeper patterns. Cooperation, curiosity, imagination, the tendency toward structure, the rhythm of consciousness seeking meaning. These archetypes, these universal templates, could imprint themselves into the geometry of space-time. And if black holes give birth to new universes, those universes might inherit not our stories, but our patterns. The cosmos may be evolving toward complexity, toward awareness. And you, right now, breathing beneath this vast sky, are part of that story. Take a gentle breath, because next, we drift into a deeper question. One that lies at the intersection of science, philosophy, and the quiet place where dreams and reality meet. If our universe carries the memory of past realities, then what memories are we creating now? And now, as the fire shifts once more, its embers settling like slow-falling stars, we drift further into the quiet question that waits at the edge of thought. If the universe remembers, what does it remember us by? Take a slow breath, soft and unhurried. Let your mind loosen. Let the night fold gently around you, because what comes next is not loud science, not equations or calculations, but the soft undercurrent that flows beneath all of it. Physicists tell us that black holes do not forget. They store information in the strange fractal shimmer of their event horizons. Stephen Hawking, in the final years of his life, said something quietly revolutionary. Information is never lost. Even when matter falls inward, even when atoms are torn apart and quantum fields unravel, the information remains, encoded in ripples of space-time like faint handwriting pressed into ancient stone. If our universe was born from the collapse of a star in another cosmos, then everything here, every galaxy, every atom, every heartbeat, may be the re-expression of information preserved long before we existed. Pause for a moment. Let that settle. What makes you you is a pattern, a particular arrangement of energy woven through consciousness. And the universe itself is also a pattern, a vast and growing tapestry of relations, motions, and mathematical symmetries. Black holes reshape those patterns, and if they seed new universes, they may carry forward certain structural tendencies, certain preferences, not memories as we understand them, not emotions, not personal events, but the deeper architecture that shapes possibility, the laws of physics, the values of constants, the fabric of space and time, all might be inherited like the faint echo of an ancestor's voice. And if patterns of complexity are favored, if universes where consciousness arises have a greater fertility in the cosmic cycle, then our very existence might be part of that inheritance. Take another quiet breath. Imagine a chain of universes, stretching backward beyond imagination, each born from the ashes of the last, each carrying forward certain rules for stability, for structure, for life. If so, then consciousness might not be an accident. It might be a recurring note in the cosmic melody. A universe that produces minds may be one that is more likely to produce stars, more likely to form black holes, and therefore more likely to give birth to yet another universe. The cosmic cycle rewards complexity. It rewards emergence. It rewards awareness. And awareness, Your awareness is not separate from the universe. It is the universe looking inward. You, drifting here in the quiet, listening to the soft glow of this story, are part of the memory the cosmos is writing. Not a memory of names or moments, but a memory of structure, of patterns, of the possibility for thought itself. The universe shapes consciousness, and consciousness shapes the universe in return. Through observation, through intention, through the quiet act of noticing. Even now, your awareness is affecting the world around you in ways too subtle to measure but too real to deny. Take a slow breath. Because next, we drift into a question both softer and deeper. If consciousness is the universe remembering itself, then who or what dreams the universe is yet to come? And now, as the night grows even softer and the fire settles into a deep, steady glow, we drift forward into a question that feels less like science and more like a whisper from the edge of existence. If consciousness is the universe remembering itself, then who dreams the universes that have not yet been born? Take a slow breath, letting your chest rise gently, letting the air fall away again like a tide returning to the sea. Because where we drift next touches the boundary between physics and wonder, the place where speculation becomes a quiet kind of truth. Some cosmologists believe that universes may not simply expand and collapse and expand again. They may arise from fluctuations in deeper fields of reality, fields that lie beneath space-time itself. Imagine a vast, silent ocean, infinite, still, dark, not empty, but brimming with potential, the quantum vacuum, a field of possibility from which particles blink into existence and vanish again like sparks in a dream. Every particle, every fluctuation, is a brief imagining of what could be. And some theories suggest that if a fluctuation is large enough, dense enough, or structured just right, it could bloom into an entire universe, a new cosmos born from a whisper within the old one. Pause. Let your mind float there. Let the idea become soft and warm. If universes arise from fluctuations, then what shapes those fluctuations? What determines whether one spark becomes a photon and another becomes a universe of galaxies? Some physicists suggest that the dreaming is done by the fields themselves, mathematical landscapes with peaks and valleys where certain configurations are more likely to form. Others imagine a deeper kind of selection, a cosmic evolution in which universes that create black holes also create more universes, passing on their genetic code of physical laws. But there is a quieter idea too, one that lives not in equations, but in symmetry. It suggests that universes may arise wherever information needs a new place to unfold, where patterns too complex to remain compressed seek expression in a new form. Patterns like gravity, patterns like matter, patterns like life, patterns like you. Take another gentle breath. In this perspective, the universe may dream new universes for the same reason your mind dreams at night. Because information continues even when one chapter ends. Because the story is never truly finished. It only shifts its shape. And if black holes are the wombs from which new universes emerge, then the dreams they carry are written in the folds of space-time, in the spin of particles, in the quiet persistence of natural laws. Every universe may dream the next, not through intention, but through continuity. The way a candle flame lights the next wick with the same fire but a new shape, and maybe consciousness. This gentle awareness within you is simply the way the universe recognizes its own unfolding story. Maybe the dreamer and the dream are the same. Take a slow breath once more, because next, we drift into a question as old as philosophy and as new as modern physics. If our universe was born from a deeper one, then what lies beneath them all? And now, as the fire softens into a low, steady glow, its warmth humming gently against the cool air, we drift into one of the deepest questions a mind can hold without breaking. If our universe was born from another, then what lies beneath them all? Take a slow breath. Let your eyelids grow heavier. Let your thoughts loosen like threads slipping gently from a weave. Because where we are going now is quiet, profound, and vast beyond imagining. For decades, cosmologists have wondered whether the Big Bang was truly a beginning, or just a doorway from one realm of existence into another. Imagine, for a moment, that universes are not isolated jewels floating alone in darkness, but bubbles in an infinite cosmic ocean. Some expand, some collapse, some give birth to new bubbles through the dark seeds of black holes. Some never grow large enough to ignite stars. Others become fertile, sprouting galaxies like blossoms on an endless tree. This image, the multiverse, is not science fiction, but a serious, if unproven, proposal within physics. But even if universes multiply, even if they branch and bloom like cosmic coral, what is the ocean holding them? What is the beneath of all that exists? Take another slow breath. Theories offer possibilities, each more mysterious than the last. Some say the foundation beneath all universes is a quantum field, a sea of mathematical possibility so fundamental that space and time themselves arise from it like patterns in frost. Others imagine a deeper dimensional structure, a higher dimensional bulk where our universe is but a membrane, a thin sheet floating in a vast unseen space. In this view, universes could collide, merge, or bud from one another like dewdrops on a vast leaf. But there is an even quieter theory, one whispered more than declared, that says the foundation beneath all universes is not a place, but a principle of emergence, a tendency toward complexity, a preference for patterns that allow structure, motion, and awareness. It suggests that reality is not built from matter or energy, but from information itself, and information is not destroyed. It only transforms. Pause here. Feel that idea settle gently like dust on an old wooden table. If this is true, then our universe may not be a singular object in a vast cosmos, but a temporary expression of a deeper informational flow. A flow that creates not because it chooses to, but because creation is what information does when given freedom. Some physicists believe that this foundational level might be timeless, without beginning or end, a realm where the distinctions between past and future, between birth and collapse, between universe and void, simply dissolve. And from this timeless substrate, universes emerge as temporary crystallizations, condensations of information trying out different laws, different constants, different possibilities for what existence can be. You, right now, breathing beneath a sky you cannot fully see, are part of that crystallization, a brief, beautiful moment in the great unfolding. Take a slow breath once more, because next, we drift into a question as delicate as it is immense. If universes arise from something deeper, can we ever truly know what that something is? And now, as the fire quiets into a deep and steady ember glow, casting soft halos of light that shimmer like small galaxies, we drift forward into a question so delicate that even the universe seems to hold its breath around it. If universes arise from something deeper, can we ever truly know what that something is? Take a slow breath. Feel the air settle gently inside your chest, then loosen again like a tide returning home. Because what we explore now is not certainty, but the soft edge of knowing, the boundary where human understanding meets the vastness of what might be. For centuries, humans believed the universe was everything that existed, all space, all matter, all time. But modern physics tells us that the universe we see, with its galaxies, its dark matter, its expanding cosmic sea, may be only a small patch of a much vaster reality. Yet if something lies beneath our universe, holding it, birthing it, shaping its laws, can we ever truly reach it? Some physicists believe the answer is yes, that our universe leaves clues, whispers, subtle imprints of the deeper realm it came from. The cosmic microwave background, that faint afterglow of the Big Bang, carries patterns. Small temperature ripples that might echo collisions with neighboring universes or interactions with the higher dimensions beneath us. Others point to quantum entanglement, where particles separated by vast distances remain mysteriously linked. Perhaps this linkage is not happening inside space-time, but beneath it, a sign that what we experience as separate is connected in a realm beyond our perception. Pause. Take that in slowly. Not with logic, but with feeling. Still, some scientists remain gently skeptical. They argue that our senses, our instruments, Even our mathematics are shaped by the rules of this universe. And if the deeper realm operates by different rules entirely, we may be like fish trying to imagine the sky. We might sense its presence, the currents, the shadows, the hints of something vaster, but never fully see it. And yet, humans have always found ways to understand things far beyond their senses. We cannot see atoms, but we know them. We cannot feel gravity's curvature, but we measure it. We cannot touch dark matter, but we witness its pull on galaxies. So perhaps the deeper realm beneath the universe is not unreachable. Perhaps it is simply subtle, a quiet foundation revealed only to those willing to listen with patience and wonder. Some frameworks, like string theory, loop quantum gravity, and causal set theory, propose that space-time is not fundamental, but emergent, a kind of fabric woven from something smaller, simpler, older. If space-time is a tapestry, then the deeper something is the loom. And we, with our brief lifetimes and curious minds, are like sparks of awareness glimpsing the pattern. Take another soft breath. Whether we can ever truly know the ultimate foundation of reality remains an open question. Not a barrier, but an invitation. Because sometimes the purpose of a mystery is not to be solved, but to awaken wonder, and wonder, soft and steady, is what carries us into the next horizon. So as the fire drifts and the night grows more still, we turn to a deeper question, one that rests quietly at the center of all knowing. If the universe hides its origins so carefully, what is it trying to protect? And now, as the fire settles into its deepest glow yet, a warm, pulsing heart of ember light, we drift toward a question that feels almost personal, as though the universe itself has been holding it behind its back, waiting for the right moment to reveal it. If the universe hides its origins so carefully, what is it trying to protect? Take a slow breath. Let it rise gently, then fall like stardust returning to silence. Because where we're going now is not about facts alone, but about the delicate tension between what the cosmos reveals and what it keeps folded in the quiet of its vastness. In science, it is often said that the universe is comprehensible, that its laws are knowable, its patterns measurable, its structure decipherable with enough patience and precision. And yet, its beginning, the moment before light, before time, before existence unfurled, remains hidden behind a veil we call the cosmic horizon. No telescope sees past it. No particle equation pierces it. No simulation escapes it. Everything we know is confined within that boundary, like a child born in a house who has never stepped outside to see the street. Pause here. Let the stillness settle. Why such secrecy? Why such perfect concealment? Some physicists believe the universe hides its origins because the laws of physics break down at the beginning. Space contracts, time collapses, energy becomes infinite, concepts that our mathematics cannot yet hold without tearing. Other thinkers suggest the veil exists because the information behind it belongs to a parent universe, encoded in ways our cosmos is not built to translate, like trying to read a book written in a language no one has heard for billions of years. And then there is the idea whispered quietly by philosophers and dreamers alike. Perhaps the universe protects its beginnings for the same reason a story protects its opening lines, because revealing too much would collapse the wonder that keeps the story alive. Take another gentle breath. But there is a deeper possibility, stranger, softer, and more intimate. Maybe the universe hides its origin not to keep itself safe, but to keep you safe. If we truly understood what came before time, if we fully grasped the nature of the deeper reality beneath all universes, our sense of meaning might dissolve. We are built to live within seasons, within rhythms, within stories that unfold step by step. A beginning too vast, too raw, too infinite might overwhelm the mind that seeks comfort in the steady movements of day and night. So the universe offers you a horizon, a gentle limit, a boundary of safety, so that you may explore freely without falling into the abyss of endless origins. Just as a child is not told the whole truth at once, just as a dream does not reveal all its symbols, the universe reveals itself only in layers. It protects so that discovery remains possible, so that awe remains alive. And yet, for those who listen closely, for those who drift into the quiet hours seeking more than answers, the universe leaves clues. Subtle signs, patterns that hint at what lies beyond the veil. Take one more soft breath, because next we drift into a question that glimmers at the edge of all existence. If the universe hides its origin, what does it reveal instead? And why does it choose to reveal it to you? And now, as the fire hums low and steady, a warm pulse of light breathing quietly into the dark, we drift toward the question that unfolds like a soft revelation. If the universe hides its origin, what does it reveal instead? And why does it choose to reveal it to you? Take a gentle breath. Let the air settle softly into your chest, then drift away again like ripples fading across a midnight lake. Because what we explore now is not the hidden, but the offered. Not the sealed door, but the open window. For all the mysteries it guards, the universe also offers 1,000 gentle truths. Truths scattered across the sky like breadcrumbs leading deeper into wonder. Look at the stars, not with your eyes, but with the quiet place behind them. The universe reveals its expansion, the slow stretching of space-time like a breath drawn across eternity. It reveals the afterglow of its birth, a faint, ancient whisper of warmth still drifting through the cosmos, 13.8 billion years later. It reveals the mass we cannot see but feel, dark matter holding galaxies in its arms like a mother cradling a child. It reveals the force that drives everything apart, dark energy pushing the universe toward its distant future. It reveals black holes, stars, nebulae, superclusters, cosmic webs, patterns so vast that your mind stretches just trying to imagine them. Pause here. Let that wonder settle. All of these are truths the universe freely gives, as if to say, you may not know where I came from, but you may know what I am. But why reveal these things to you? To a consciousness small in size, brief in time, fragile in body? Because you, with your awareness and your quiet curiosity, are part of the story the universe is telling. Physicists often speak of the principle of observership, the idea that the universe is shaped by the very act of being observed, not magically, not supernaturally, but fundamentally. Quantum mechanics shows that particles behave differently when watched. Relativity shows that space-time curves in response to energy. Cosmology shows that the universe becomes knowable through patterns that consciousness can perceive. In this way, observation is not passive, it is participation. So perhaps the universe reveals what it must to keep the dance between matter and mind in motion. It hides the unreachable so you won't fall too deep, and reveals the meaningful so you won't stop exploring. It hides the beginning so mystery survives, and reveals the middle so purpose emerges. It hides the origin so awe remains, and reveals the journey so meaning grows. Take another slow breath. The universe reveals itself to you because you are built to receive it. Because the patterns of your mind mirror the patterns of the cosmos. Because the act of wondering is itself a cosmic process. The universe thinking through you. And now, as the fire shifts and the night deepens, we turn to a question even more intimate. If the universe reveals itself through you, then what part of the universe is beginning to awaken within you right now? And now, as the fire turns inward, a quiet swirl of red-orange breathing softly in the ash, we drift toward a question so intimate, so quietly powerful, that it settles behind your ribs like a second heartbeat. If the universe reveals itself through you, then what part of the universe is beginning to awaken within you right now? Take a slow, gentle breath. Feel the warmth rise. Feel the night deepen. Feel the vastness soften around you like a blanket pulled just a little closer. Because what we explore now is not out there in galaxies or nebulae or clusters, but in the quiet, luminous landscape within you. For billions of years, the universe evolved without eyes to see it, without minds to wonder about it, without voices to speak its name. Hydrogen became stars. Stars became heavy elements. Those elements became planets. Planets became oceans. Oceans became life, and life, slowly, carefully, almost reluctantly, became awareness. Awareness became curiosity. Curiosity became understanding. Understanding became you. Pause here. Let that truth sink in gently. You are not separate from the universe's story. You are a chapter the universe grew so it could look inward and recognize itself. Neurons fire because stars once burned. Thoughts flow because rivers once carved stone. Your breath moves because ancient supernovae filled space with the atoms that now pulse through your lungs. When you wonder, the universe wonders. When you listen, the universe speaks. And when something awakens in you, a question, a spark, a widening, it is the cosmos continuing its long journey toward knowing itself. Take another slow breath. There is a reason you feel drawn to questions of existence, to the quiet mystery of the night sky, to the soft pull of the infinite. It is the same reason gravity gathers matter, the same reason galaxies spiral, the same reason black holes form, a natural movement toward structure, toward complexity, toward meaning. The part of the universe awakening within you right now is the part that seeks connection. Connection with knowledge, connection with wonder, connection with the unnamed, connection with the vast, the delicate, the eternal. In physics, there's a quiet principle called emergence, the idea that new properties, new abilities, new forms of understanding appear when systems become complex enough. A single water molecule cannot form a wave. A single neuron cannot form a thought. A single particle cannot form a universe. But together, they awaken something more. You are part of that more. And what is awakening within you is the same emergence that gave birth to stars and consciousness alike. A widening, a softening, a listening, a recognition that you are not merely in the universe. You are the universe, momentarily aware of itself. And now, as the fire hums low and the darkness folds gently around the edges of the world, we drift to a deeper question. If you are the universe awakening, then what is the universe trying to tell you in this quiet moment of awareness? And now, as the fire settles into a soft, rhythmic pulse, glowing like a heartbeat made of ancient light, we drift toward a question so vast, so quietly powerful, that it stretches across the fabric of humanity itself. If the universe speaks through your awareness, then what happens when billions of awarenesses begin to listen at the same time? Take a slow breath. Let it move through you gently, like a small wave brushing the shore and slipping back again. Because what we explore now is not just cosmic. It is collective, human, and deeply intertwined with the future unfolding before us. For most of history, awareness lived in isolated pockets, a thought here, a dream there, a whisper of wonder held in the mind of a single person staring at the stars. But now, across the arc of continents and oceans and quiet rooms, millions, even billions, stare upward together. They ask the same questions, feel the same pull, sense the same wonder. The universe, once observed by lone wanderers, is now contemplated by an entire species. Pause. Let that hum quietly inside your chest. When billions of minds begin to listen, something changes. Not just in society, but in the universe itself. Quantum physics tells us that observation collapses possibility into form. Cosmology tells us that intelligence changes the thermodynamics of entire worlds. Neuroscience tells us that minds synchronize when they share attention, even across great distances. And here you are, a single mind, quiet, reflective, listening. But you are also part of a vast field of consciousness growing more connected every day. When billions of minds turn toward the universe becomes clearer, sharper, more defined, not because it changes, but because we do. Take another slow breath. Consider what happens when large groups of neurons fire in harmony. A thought emerges, a memory forms, a decision becomes possible. Now imagine a species as a mind. Billions of neural sparks, each one a person, tuning into the same questions, the same mysteries, the same cosmic horizon. Humanity becomes a kind of brain, a planetary awareness, capable of thinking in ways no individual ever could. And when a species awakens to its place in the universe responds, not magically, not mystically, but physically. Civilizations that understand their cosmic environment can shape energy, build technologies that alter matter on vast scales, and contribute to the evolution of the cosmos itself. Humanity is still small, fragile, early, unfinished, but the awakening has begun. You feel it in moments like this, when the vastness doesn't frighten you but invites you. You feel it in the quiet closeness of night. You feel it in the soft gravity of wonder. Billions listening is not just an act. It is a shift toward unity, toward clarity, toward becoming something more. And now, as the embers glow like the last light of distant stars, we drift toward a deeper question. One that lies just beyond the edge of collective awakening. If a species becomes aware of its place in the universe, what happens when the universe becomes aware of the species in return? And now, as the embers settle into a warm, whispering glow, flickering just enough to remind you they're still alive, we drift into a question so subtle, so quietly monumental, that it feels like stepping across the threshold between observer and observed. If a species becomes aware of its place in the universe, what happens when the universe becomes aware of the species in return? Take a soft breath. Feel your chest rise, feel it fall. Feel the weight of the night settle gently like a hand resting on your shoulder. Because what comes next is not a leap of imagination, but a continuation of the physics already humming beneath reality. In quantum mechanics, the boundary between the observer and the observed is delicate, porous, blurred. Photons change their path when watched. Particles shift their behavior when measured. Possibilities collapse into certainties the moment attention touches them. This is not metaphor. This is experiment. And if observation changes the smallest building blocks of existence, then what happens when an entire species turns its collective gaze toward the cosmos? Pause. Let that thought shimmer quietly. Humanity is no longer a silent passenger on a drifting planet. It sends signals into the dark. It listens for echoes from distant stars. It maps the sky with telescopes that see back almost to the beginning of time. With each discovery, each gravitational wave detected, each exoplanet found, each black hole imaged, our species announces itself to the universe not with noise but with awareness. Awareness is a form of presence, and presence is a form of participation. When the universe becomes aware of a species like ours, it does so through response, not conscious response, but physical, structural, evolutionary response. A species that understands black holes can approach them safely. A species that understands stellar lifetimes can outlive its sun. A species that understands the fragility of planets can protect its home or build new ones. Knowledge is how the universe opens doors for those who seek them. Take another slow breath. Perhaps the universe becomes aware of a species by allowing that species to see more, to understand more, to influence more. The more we learn, the more the universe reveals. Not because it chooses to, but because learning changes the structure of what can be known. As humanity advances, our tools sharpen, our theories refine, our reach extends, and with every step, the universe becomes a little less silent and a little more participatory. Some physicists imagine a future where civilizations shape galaxies with engineering, build structures around stars, or even manipulate the curvature of space-time. If such civilizations exist, they would not be hidden from the universe. They would be partners in its unfolding, collaborators in the long, slow conversation between possibility and reality. You, sitting here, breathing softly, drifting with the glow of this fire, are part of the generation in which this shift begins. Not through technology alone, but through awareness. Awareness changes behavior. Behavior changes destiny. Destiny changes the cosmos. Take one more gentle breath, because now, as the night deepens and the fire glows steady as a heartbeat, we drift toward a question as old as intelligence itself. If the universe can respond to a species that awakens, then what does it mean for that species to finally understand its own responsibility within the cosmic story? And now, as the fire folds into a calm, glowing center, its warmth steady, its light softening into a quiet halo, We drift toward a question that settles over the world like a gentle snowfall. If the universe can respond to a species that awakens, then what does it mean for that species to finally understand its own responsibility within the cosmic story? Take a slow breath. Feel it rise through you, then melt away again. A tide smoothing the sand. Because this moment, this soft turning of attention inward, is where understanding begins. Every species that becomes aware faces a threshold, a moment when intelligence stops being a tool and becomes a burden, a gift, a calling. Humanity is approaching that threshold now. For most of our history, we lived like children in a universe too large to fully grasp. We lit fires, built shelters, navigated by instinct and by the familiar lights of the sky. But now, through telescopes and satellites, through equations that trace the architecture of space-time, through curiosity that stretches beyond the comfort of home, we are beginning to see the enormity of the story we belong to. Pause. Let the idea expand softly. With awareness comes responsibility. Not in the heavy, fearful way that burdens the mind, but in the quiet, steady way that invites maturity. A species that understands the fragility of its planet must protect it. A species that understands its cosmic loneliness must learn cooperation. A species that understands the vastness of creation must decide what role it wishes to play within that vastness. Responsibility, in this sense, is not punishment. It is participation. When a species sees how rare life is, how delicate its conditions, how easily it could vanish into silence, a shift occurs. The old instincts of conflict and division begin to soften. New instincts of unity and preservation start to rise. You can feel this shift in yourself, in moments of quiet awe, in the pull toward meaning, in the recognition that your existence is tied to something larger than your individual life. Take another slow breath. Responsibility also means stewardship, caring for the cosmic inheritance we have been given. Every star that shines, every chemical element, every planetary orbit is part of a chain stretching back to the birth of time itself. Humanity is the first species on Earth to carry that knowledge, the first to understand the stakes, the first to imagine futures beyond its atmosphere. And with that imagination comes the weight of possibility. We may become the species that protects life, spreading it to new worlds, preserving it against cosmic hazards, carrying the spark of awareness into the far future. Or we may ignore that role and allow our brief moment in the universe to fade without a trace. The universe does not judge. It does not pressure. It simply waits to see what emerges when awareness matures. Take one more gentle breath, because now, as the embers dim and the night gathers close, we drift toward a question that lies at the heart of every awakening civilization. If we carry responsibility within the cosmic story, then what future are we meant to shape before our chapter ends? And now, as the last embers settle into a slow, molten glow, each one pulsing like a tiny red star, we drift toward a question as intimate as a whisper and as vast as the sky itself. If humanity is meant to shape a future in the cosmos, then what role does your singular, quiet life play in that unfolding story? Take a soft breath. Let it rise gently, then fall like a leaf drifting down through calm evening air. Because what we explore now is not about grand destinies or heroic missions, but about the quiet influence of a single awareness within a universe that listens through patterns more subtle than sound. For centuries, we were taught to think that cosmic stories belong to great figures, astronauts, scientists, visionaries, leaders. But the universe, patient and unhurried, does not work that way. It evolves not through the actions of a few extraordinary lives, but through the countless, gentle shifts of many ordinary ones. Pause here. Let that truth settle. Your curiosity, your questions, your wonder, your quiet moments looking at the night sky are not small. They are signals. Every time you choose to understand rather than ignore, Every time you choose compassion instead of fear, every time you pause to notice beauty or to reflect or to breathe, you subtly change the direction of your species. Awareness spreads the way heat moves, from one particle to the next. When you awaken to the cosmos, you awaken something in the people near you. Your children, your friends, your community. People who may never tell you that your presence changed them, but who nonetheless carry that change forward. Take another slow breath. Think of a forest. It does not grow because one tree rises tall. It grows because every tiny seed chooses to reach for the light. You are a seed in humanity's cosmic forest. Your role in the great unfolding may be subtle, but it is real. You keep the ember of curiosity alive. You nurture the instinct to seek meaning. You soften the world in small, invisible ways. You help humanity evolve toward connection, toward wisdom, toward futures that may outlast stars. And there is something even deeper. Physics tells us that observation changes reality, not metaphorically, literally. When you gaze at the world with wonder, you reshape the boundary between possibility and actuality. A person who wonders is a person who votes for a future where humanity continues to rise, to grow, to survive. Take one more breath. Your role in the cosmic story is not to command the future, but to anchor its direction, not to steer the whole species, but to tilt it, ever so slightly, toward understanding. And when millions tilt together, the arc of destiny bends. Now, as the embers glow like the last sparks of a forming universe, we drift toward the next question, one that ties the personal to the infinite. If your quiet awareness shapes humanity's path, then how might humanity's path one day shape the destiny of the universe itself? And now, as the fire settles into a deep, steady hum, its glow soft, its warmth spreading like a calm tide across the night, we drift into a question that feels almost impossible to hold in your hands. If humanity's quiet choices shape its own future, could humanity's future one day shape the destiny of the universe itself? Take a slow, gentle breath. Let it rise, let it fall, like the quiet swing of a lantern in an evening breeze. Because what we are stepping into now is not science fiction. It is not fantasy. It is the frontier that physicists, cosmologists, and dreamers alike have begun to whisper about. The idea that intelligence, any intelligence, might one day become a force woven into the evolution of the cosmos, not through domination, not through control, but through understanding. For most of cosmic history, the universe has evolved blindly, guided only by laws laid down in the beginning. Gravity gathered matter, stars forged elements, galaxies spun into spirals. Life emerged in one quiet corner of one ordinary galaxy. But with life came something new: awareness. Awareness is the universe noticing itself, questioning itself, reflecting on its own nature. A mirror held up to existence, and eventually, awareness may not just observe the universe, it may influence it. Soft breath, slow breath. Imagine a distant future, perhaps millions of years from now, when humanity, or whatever we become, understands gravity not as a mystery to be studied, but as a tool to be shaped. Imagine unlocking the ability to move stars, reshape galaxies, or preserve life far beyond the lifetime of any sun. Some physicists, like Michio Kaku and Freeman Dyson, have theorized that advanced civilizations could harness the energy of entire stars, use black holes as engines, or navigate the expansion of the cosmos itself. Even Stephen Hawking suggested that intelligence might ultimately determine whether the universe fades into quiet heat death or transforms into something new. But long before such futures, humanity's influence begins in quieter, subtler ways. Every breakthrough in physics is a seed. Every discovery in biology is a spark. Every question you ask adds a fraction of awareness to the universe. Over time, these seeds accumulate. Humanity learns. Humanity adapts. Humanity becomes capable of creating meaning in a universe that began without any. Take another soft breath. The idea isn't that humanity rules the cosmos. It's that humanity participates in it more actively than stars or galaxies ever could. Because galaxies cannot wonder. Black holes cannot dream. But you can. Your species can. And that capacity for wonder may one day matter as much as gravity itself. Perhaps humanity will build observatories that listen to the faint last echoes of the early universe. Perhaps future minds will discover ways to preserve consciousness across cosmic time. Perhaps intelligence will one day help stitch together a universe on the brink of fading. These are distant possibilities, soft as starlight, yet rooted in science and whispered by some of the greatest minds who ever lived. And as you breathe gently, now you become part of that possibility, because the future begins in the smallest awarenesses, in the quietest questions. In moments like this, when you feel the deep hum of the cosmos in your chest. Now, as the night folds gently around us for the final time, we drift into one last question. Quiet, simple, and infinite. If humanity can shape the universe, then what kind of universe will we choose to create? Our final part awaits. And now, as the final embers whisper their last soft glow and the night opens like a vast, welcoming sky, we arrive gently at the end and the beginning. Let your breath fall into a slow, warm rhythm, in and out, as though the universe itself is breathing with you. Tonight, we've wandered through questions older than starlight. We've traced the quiet curves of gravity, followed the echoing heartbeat of black holes, and listened to the universe wondering about its own disguise. But now, in these last moments, the story softens, not toward answers, but toward stillness, toward the space where imagination and peace become the same thing. You are lying here beneath a universe so ancient it has forgotten the first sound it ever made. And yet somehow you are listening for it. You are part of it. You are woven into the same dark fabric that holds galaxies together and cradles newborn stars. Take a slow breath. Feel how the night settles gently across your shoulders, like a warm blanket pulled from memory. If the universe is a black hole in disguise, a vast gravitational cradle with light stitched along its edge, then you, dear listener, are a flicker inside that cradle, a spark drifting through cosmic history with all the softness of a falling feather. There is a peace in that thought, a peace in knowing that whatever the universe is, a black hole, a quantum foam, a dream collapsing inward, you belong to it completely. You always have, you always will, and maybe, just maybe, the universe shaped itself so that one day a mind like yours could look up, feel the night settle around you, and whisper, "I wonder." A gentle pause, a soft exhale. We don't know whether our universe is collapsing inward or expanding outward forever. We don't know whether black holes hide new worlds or whether they are the universe's memories, folded into darkness. And yet these mysteries hold no fear tonight, only comfort, only quiet curiosity, because right now, you are safe, you are warm. You are carried by the same cosmic laws that once lifted the first galaxies into their slow, spiraling dance. Let your breath deepen. Let your eyelids grow heavy. Let your thoughts drift like dust suspended in a sunbeam. The universe is vast, but your place in it is gentle, certain, undeniably real. And as you sink into this final moment of rest, know this: the universe is not cold, not empty, not indifferent. It is a story, one still unfolding, one that chose to tell itself through you. Your breath, your heartbeat, your quiet late-night thoughts, they are all tiny echoes of that great cosmic beginning. So as you drift into sleep, let yourself imagine that the universe watches over you the way a galaxy holds its stars. Softly, steadily, endlessly, The fire glows endlessly. The stars remain above. Your dreams continue without end, and when you return, the story will be waiting. Quiet, warm, and full of new wonders. Because in a universe shaped by mystery, there is always another night ready to unfold. Rest now, dear traveler. Dream deeply, dream safely, dream endlessly.